Ansu, you on
All
mute.
right. So welcome to the program. Today is March 26th, 2025. Exactly 17 minutes up to 10 o'clock here in Liberia. So it's Wednesday night. Welcome to the midweek edition. My name is Ansu K. Sirleaf. Henry is also here, folks. Let's join our team of panelists. We'll see my Grace is already on. The game is also on. We'll say good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I don't know the exact time in the US though, but as a hands up to you people, welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. The exact time in on the East Coast, which is the Northeast, is 5:43 p.m. in late evening. And Mr. Gamer can get a time in his area.
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast too. I'm in Miami, so it's same time.
Okay, so he's in Miami, Florida, and I'm in Pennsylvania, and it's 5:43 p.m. on our end, late afternoon. We are happy to be here. My name is Grace Guar,
Yeah.
and I'm happy to be here. I want to say hello to the men in the studio, Ansu and Henry. How you doing?
Always good. My Grace, always good indeed. Thanks. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Mr. Gamer, you can come in and then give your opening statement, and then I will come in.
Great. We should have a new employee starting today. Uh, Honorable Victor Nangbe will be coming on today as a guest, and he's an analyst. He's a CPP man. He's a comics guy. I don't know how that relationship going, but I invited him to come on, bring his expertise. He should be coming on. But Liberia kind of shaky today. I watched the Supreme Court. I watched the entire proceeding. And in my lifetime, I may be wrong. I stand to be corrected. Ansu and Henry, if you guys are over there, I have never seen I never seen camera in the Supreme Court for the proceeding before. But today, it was wall to wall covered from the beginning to the end. And we watched the argument and the counter argument. And this is something new, very, very new. But it tells the world that at some level that we're supposed to know what we are doing. And this is something that today caught my attention. And I'm saying, I cannot believe that the Supreme Court has cameras covering the proceeding, wall to wall, carpet to carpet, counter argument. I felt bad though. We are not going to it, but I felt bad for Councillor Sherman, a man that was respected in Liberia as one of the luminaries. To have been embarrassed as he was. But then again, without being facetious in other way, I don't know who will hire a man who just had major surgery where part of his brain was removed. Who will hire someone of that nature for a case of this magnitude? This man just had a major brain, he had a massive stroke.
Councillor Sherman?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And had a major brain surgery. Who will hire him? This is what I'm saying. With all due respect to him, I feel for him because this is not the Vanny Sherman that we know. And nobody, in fact, he's disabled. He should not be practicing. This is akin to being, just imagine a medical, a doctor, a surgeon who have had a major brain trauma, have part of his brain removed, and you're going to allow him to come and do operation on you? This is where we are. Vanny Sherman is not whole. So I felt when the Chief Justice were questioning him, and some of the examples he were giving were just so bad. I don't know whether it was because it wasn't logical. It didn't make sense, especially since um, we have presidents that when the majority don't want you, they have no vote of confidence. And I think what the Chief Justice was getting at is show me in our constitutional setting where we do what they call vote of confidence. This is a parliamentarian process. We talk about Great Britain and other places. It's not here. How is it where in the Constitution where we have ever had a parliamentary procedure where they say vote of no confidence and you should leave office? Even that there's a process, there's a procedure. So I felt very bad for him, for a man who was once at the level of the Brunskins of the world to be belittled as he was. That was that was something that I looked at today and I said to myself, "Wow!" And then on the other side, you have you got Michael Watkins, Wilkins Wright, and you have Johnson. On the other hand, these are brilliant young. In fact, Mr. Wright, he was an associate justice also, so he knows the rules very well. But it was a sad day. I felt very bad for Councillor Sherman.
I mean, the way you even explain it is so sad, you know, a renowned lawyer. This man had one of the best law firms in the country once upon a time in Liberia. For him to go through surgery and not in the right frame of mind and still, you know, got up to go in that court to be, you know, talked to and ask questions, and he's not even saying anything really substantial, especially when it comes to the law and how it's supposed to be implemented and applied. It looks so, it looked like a sorrowful day to me for him and also for Liberia, because I don't understand. I know he was paid to do a job, but how are these people allowing this man who just came from this major surgery to go and even represent? He's supposed to have a co, you know, lawyer working along with him to be able to put forth the whatsoever case they think they can put forth. And it just always diminished the people that were ready, that really had that name in Liberia at the time when we were, you know, when Liberia used to be a real country. Because sometimes I see that the way things are done, and you say, okay, is there a real country? The way the people behave, the way they treat their youth, the way they treat the people of the country, like the government officials can just slap somebody and beat them in their own yard, and then nothing come out of it. So then I get, okay, is this happening in this day and age? Is this place for real? That's the question. So I don't understand how Councillor Shemo wanted to put himself in that, you know, for people to see him that way. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of really sorry for Mr. Damon when you think about it, that he was allowed to go to court today to defend those people. And knowing the kind of reputation, I know a lawyer is always a lawyer, but the kind of reputation that he had and he held before in Liberia, why would you want to even represent the wrong? You know, at this point in time, what is going on doesn't benefit the people. So why are you even putting yourself in that? Or maybe he just feel I don't have anything to lose anymore, or he are giving up in life. Because I have people can ask sometimes, so well, we just follow it and do what I gotta do. But you have to think about the legacy that you leave here after you're gone. How your children will even when your name is being called, how your kids, people will look at them, you know. And all those things. I was just it's so like I can't believe what I'm seeing. I felt sorry for him, you know, because for me, I had my mom when I call her name. As soon as I call her name, yeah, people will start to tell you good things about her. I even there was a guy on Facebook, Mr. Charleston, and one day I just mentioned my mother's name and was, you know, because she's dead, and I was saying, you know, may her soul rest in peace. That man came right on Facebook and really said that woman was your mom. I'm like, yep. The man leveled everything about my mother. He worked with her for many years, you know, and he started talking about their work, how she was very professional in her work, the things she did. That's how you want your children to when people talk about you. That's how you want when the day you leave this earth for your children to be proud of, because people have worked with the people have worked with you for your children to see the competence beside the competence, how you carry yourself, the lifestyle. What if you lay on this earth, even if they have controversy on your name, they shouldn't be true. But for a renowned counselor like Counselor Sherman, who has one of the biggest law firm and work with good lawyers in his law firm, for him to be on this level in his life at this day and age, it's a sad thing to watch. It is. It's a sad thing for him. It's a sad thing for the country, and it's sad all around. I don't care how you twist it. And we are hoping that I wanted to ask you, did they come to any conclusion, because the tape was so long I couldn't finish it. But did they come to any conclusion concerning this matter in the Supreme Court?
Well, gentlemen in the studio, uh, they are the journalists. They were on the ground.
Yeah.
From what I saw, uh, the court is going to deliberate, and they're going to have a finding pretty soon. And I heard when the Supreme Court Chief Justice asked for security protection. Uh, Go ahead, Chief, from the studio. Bring us up to speed.
They asked for security protection for who?
Yes, yes. Kimmy, you are just hitting the point. That's just what happened. As you said, it never came out with any conclusion to date. There's no specific date being set for the final hearing, but at the closing statement, we have from the Chief Justice saying the Justice Minister will need to beef up their security. Yeah, because on the final date. So that was just the closing statement from her. He was saying that on the final day of this case here, I think as for now, the Justice Minister will call on the Justice Minister to beef up our security, and we
Oh,
need, yeah, we need
so it
security
means
from,
that they are feeling threatened. Something's not right. Why would they want
yeah,
to put their security?
yeah. So and that's it. So there's no specific date being set aside. It is still open, but she only said until we can come back yet again with the final to conclude on this case here. We need the justice ministry to beef our security.
That is thank you, Ansu. That just sent a message that people are feeling threatened for their lives. That's the reason why in Liberia most people are not able to just speak the truth, because then you get afraid that maybe they will do something to you. And they let you. I mean, that's why fire is all over the place. How is it even the Supreme Court leaders are now telling people that they need their security to be beefed up? So is we're gonna watch and see how this thing gonna play out. But right now, whosoever that is within the executive that is holding Rachel Kuhn like a puppet on the string, they need to just remove that string and let that man step down. Let the people do the due process and carry all or what is supposed to happen, what's supposed to happen as far as having a speaker in the house. Let that process play out in the public. And I'm very impressed that the Supreme Court was able to actually open the doors to the media today to watch the process, so everybody can hear what's going on, because we don't want other people to come out and start saying different things and one group saying the other thing. But it's concerning that the Supreme Court will mention about beefing the security up. I don't know how you think about that, Mr. Gaiman.
Well, if I were in one of the things that I observed from the Supreme Court, Vice Chairman kept referring to the other group as majority black, and she wanted Vice Chairman to show her in our constitution where it mentioned there is no mention of the word majority anywhere in the constitution. There is no such thing as majority black. Second, it says The minority, the minority, if the like the speaker, the legitimate speaker who is in the minority, it doesn't matter what the number of the minority is. And it doesn't matter the number of the majority. The majority can be 1,000, she said. It makes no difference. The minority now has 29 lawmakers in their corner. The Constitution calls for a quorum of 37. So all the minority black need is 8. They do not need all 73. So he cannot summon the entire block of whatever they call themselves. He can summon them one at a time until he gets his majority, which is 37. If he can't get his 37, he has to adjourn constantly until he gets his quorum.
Yes.
That's how it works. And the Supreme Court wanted them to understand that group of folks can just get up, go somewhere and call themselves majority and start doing government business. That's how the Constitution works. Even the rule of the House, that's not how it works. So, I mean, today was Barack Obama called shellacking on the part of the so-called majority black, and it was embarrassing to be Tom Lash that much, that often, to the point where the lawyer, I don't know who else was on our legal team, but it looks like Vanisham was just standing there and he was getting soaked, and you could see his gown was getting heavier and heavier on him, it looks like, and he had no retort because everything he tried to say was outside of the law. He brought another argument that didn't make sense. He's saying if the legitimate speaker wasn't there and his deputy was there, he was referencing to say that should be enough. And I think they asked him, but where was the speaker? He said the speaker was in another room, or he was on the campus, something like that. So if this is the case, why would a deputy take part? Grace, we have Mr. Victor Nangbe here. I guess you got to welcome him. You were in charge here.
Yeah. I'm seeing two different people. I see Sarah's Diakon and then Mr. Victor Nangbe. I would like to say welcome to the closing argument. It's good to have you guys on here tonight. And you know, this is a show where everybody can speak their own opinion. You don't have to hold back. The only thing we say, if you say something, it should be factual. If you don't have the facts, you can always allege it and say that's what is in the public. But we want, you know, substantial dialogue between us and everybody else, especially for the listening public. I think we are heard on the radio in Liberia in a lot of areas. So we like to welcome you two men, and thank you for being on the show. You can say something, Mr. Nangbe.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Great. Mr. Nangbe, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. And thank you for the opportunity. Let me quickly, because I know people will come on here and begin to allege. I freelance with Focus on Liberia. I freelance with Liberia Public Radio. And there is a reason why, you know, we're coming out here to try to make our point. I come from the progressive community. I come from the United People's Party of Gabriel Bacchus Matthews. We feel that we're allowing other people to tell our story, and we think it's about time that we told our own story. We don't want to be defined by others, and so we've taken a decision that we need to get out and explain what it is that we've been working on for the past 40 plus years, how we got where we are, and why we shouldn't take for granted what we're enjoying today. The fact that, you know, if Musa has some ability to get up within a couple of months and without let launch and register a political party, we think is telling. 40 years ago, that was unheard of. And so we just like to come out and explain our side so that people understand what it is that we've done. So again, I'm happy to be here. I come from the student activism community. I was a vice president for LINSU. I worked for the United Post Party, as I indicated. I supported the CPP for full disclosure because my party did not field a candidate. And so we're watching to see, how things shape up as we go towards 2029. Before I let it go, I also work for the Union of Liberian Associations in the Americas. My wife is the vice president, and I am the diaspora affairs coordinator. I think that's just too much for one person, so I'll leave it there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nangwe. You are
You're
welcome. Mr. Cyrus?
Thank you, Madam Grace. Thank you so much. My name is Cyrus Dankwan. I'm a son of Nimba County, District Number 4. I'm a final year student in the Department of Law at Kigali Independent University. I live in Kigali, Rwanda.
Great. It's
Great.
nice to have you here, Cyrus. So what party
Thank
did you support in the last election?
Well, I supported the CDC, even though I'm now a CDC, but by virtue of I'm reaction though.
Yeah, but and it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
You just at the end of the day, you have to pick a side. So that was the side you pick, right? That's good.
Mr.
Yeah,
Nambe,
there was-
who did- Mr.
I
Nambe,
could
who
not,
did you
I could not support Jeremiah Kunsa, so I had no option, so I supported Mr. Weah.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't make it sound like those are the only options that are available to Liberians.
No, he talked
I mean,
about in the last.
The last
in the
I mean,
election.
in the round-up, the first round, I was with Councilor Gongloe.
got you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Nambe, who did you support in the going elections?
I like I said, I was a national campaign advisor for the CPP. I supported the CPP candidacy. After the frustrating first round, I just kind of let it ride. I think part of the CPP supported the CDC candidate, and part of the CPP supported the UP candidate. I personally, I leaned towards Weah because I thought he needed an opportunity. First of all, we thought he was humbled. We had hoped that the election results had humbled him, and we were hoping then, because him being a populist president, we thought he was being given a signal that things were not going right, and we were hoping that he would then begin to shift to the middle and do those things that he needed to do. And so, unfortunately, that didn't work out. But I'm not a Russian. I don't particularly like his politics, but it's just that the options were limited. And I thought he was the better of the two candidates at the time.
I thought you supported Cummings.
Yeah, because
No,
he didn't
he said in the final round. That's what
in the final round.
Okay. First round, you
I did.
supported Cummings. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
in the final round, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, Grace, I think Cyrus is a gentleman that our chief have been talking about. That he understands NEMA politics, and he will educate us on NEMA. Oh, there he goes. Not to take word from my mouth, chief.
Yeah, but before Timothy came, I wanted to respond to Mr. Nangwe quicker. I understand that he said that he didn't support anybody, but he was leaning towards Weah. I also understand that Cyrus is a reaction, so he go there on that end. And I understand all of that, but at the end of the day, the Liberian people pick the UP to support Joseph Waka. And I felt that I would side with the side that, especially with Ben Sanvee, he always say that the reason why I thought that, Mr. Nangwe was right was that we were supposed to gain, maybe we are at that time, comparing now with what's going on in the country is so messed up. Maybe we are giving Weah his the 6 years, which is so long, giving another one to just be done with him. Because come 2029, he's no more in the picture anyway. But I just want to say
Correct. And that was a strategy as well. Just give him his full, and then he term limit will time me out. But now here we are. He's lurking in the wings right now.
But he will continue locking in the wings because come 2029 is going to be over. I mean, I don't think Mr. Weah even thinking. I don't think in his mind he's thinking that he wants to lead Liberia as a president anymore. I think his legacy was still strong. It was still strong when he just don't have to run anymore. But if you try running, that's when maybe it will a little bit dint the legacy for him, which is now too clear, except for him turning over the presidency and not, being stubborn and say, you know what, I will try to push my way and be president. But he did the right thing when he decided that he would concede because he knew that there were votes, that favored the other candidate more than it favored him. Even if that votes were three, it, they favor the other candidate more. So, but let's see what happens in 2029 because they got giants now that's coming in the race, and it will not be an easy race.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think former President Weah, he did an honorable thing by not dragging us through the mud, a long drawn legal battle, which was really within his right to do. And so I give him tremendous credit for that. But I also think it is a false choice for people to continue to tell us, well, CDC had it and you can't do well, then we got to give it back to CDC. I think there are other candidates that should be looked at. The CDC has tried and they failed miserably. If the UPP also should, I mean, the UP should also fail. I think we should broaden our perspective and begin to look at other candidates. I don't think that the only Liberians, capable of running the country. It doesn't have to be a CDC UP dichotomy, to run the country. So I think that's a first choice.
I agree. I agree. But Tomalin, you in the back. Cyrus, you have anything to say about that? Tomalin, yeah, now Tomalin, go ahead. Welcome on the platform.
Oh, good to see you, Mr. Everyone. Good to see you, Mr. Nangbe, J. Victor Nangbe. In the
It's good to
call,
see you, my brother.
the struggle continues. That's my little father of the party, the UPP.
Yeah, so I understand that. What they say, only the legends will understand that, something like that.
Yeah, also Cyrus D. Dankwa, good to see you. And also Mr. Gaiman, good to see you. Grace, good to see you again too. But guys, let's get it going. We already running behind time. Let's get it going. The big news today was from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, as everybody know, I mean, you guys, Myean, you guys play the video.
It is the majority that this one key voice, you know what? There is a complaint against the speaker's practices. There's a complaint access members of the hospital. When you speak over there, if the cost of representatives how to address or manage this complaint. That will be on that basis. The constitutional authority of the court to remove this people inside and not it's possible more that place we call the regular tumor is a tumor the doors for which were closed by mindful and others of the hospital. And see, you, the majority, you not going to enter this home. Which part of the majority going to the judge to us? Councillor Sheila, those facts are and they never before your court. Those facts are not and were never before this court. So I will start with my beginning up. Now, the president appointed properly investigated
Well, I'm sure I'm sure everybody have watched the interaction today with the Chief Justice and Councilor Sherman, who was the legal counsel for the majority bloc. Uh, but I will just give the update from the Supreme Court, and then we can start the discussion. The Supreme Court criticizes the majority bloc for ignoring legislative procedures in Speaker Kofa's removal effort. The Supreme Court of Liberia has sharply criticized the majority bloc for not following proper procedures in the effort to unseat Speaker Kofa. The court emphasized that removing the Speaker must follow constitutional rules, including a legitimate House session for the non-votes. Chief Justice Yu warned that opening a parallel session while Speaker Kofa remains in office will create chaos. The Kofa's legal team filed a bit of information asking the court to enforce its previous ruling. The court questioned the majority bloc disregard for procedural rules and emphasized the need for constitutional compliance. Majority bloc's action was seen as undermining the Constitution. The court reaffirmed that the Speaker must preside over the legislative session. Councilor Vani Shum, representing the majority bloc, defended their actions, but the court rejected his argument. The Supreme Court has reserved its ruling and requested security for associate justices before the final decision. Now, everybody, they say in Liberia, we have Liberians, we are lawyers. All Liberians are lawyers. So everybody give their own interpretation. But I will start. My understanding of this, what happened today is this. The Supreme Court was clear. The Supreme Court cannot say, oh, you will be speaker, who not speaker. That's not the authority. They are all separate branches of government. But yeah, I want to say, in interpreting the law, saying, look, you guys do it the right way. You say for the now to remove this man. Go to session where he's there and you'll do it. If you have a grievance against Councilor Speaker Kofa, he will step aside. Someone else will preside. And you put the grievances on the floor, he will give you a due process to defend himself against the accusers. That faces the accusers. I mean, everyone knows that you have a right to it's happening in America right now. The judge is telling Trump, said, look, you say the people are gang members, you are putting them, but they have not been given a due process. Let them be given a due process before you can deport them and let the court decide. You can't just come and say you put the people who are not having due process. So that's one of the issues going right now. So it's in Liberia. You give the man opportunity to face the accusers, and you accuse him of certain things. Then you face the accusers. From there, you make his argument. After that, you put it to vote. If for a non-person vote and say that he should be removed, he's no more speaker. He's out. But you can't just come and just go around and say you get a petition and people should remove the man like that. No. We're all giving him a chance to even face all you guys that are accusing of wrongdoing. That's how I understand it. Now, in any, the fact that the Chief Justice asked for protection of all associate justices, people say, I mean, it means a lot because apparently the ruling may go different way and an outrage. We don't know, but I want you guys to interpret. Everybody give their understanding of what the perspective of what they heard today in the argument before the Supreme Court and how you interpret it in your own understanding. We start with great friendship later on. From there, we go to the guest panelists, Mr. G. Victor Nangbe, Sarah Dankwa, and then Mr. Gayman. So let's go ahead and make progress.
Thank you, Tomalin. And we spoke about that earlier on, me and Mr. Gayman. And the thing is that with the Supreme Court argument, with the argument going on in the Supreme Court today, the judges are all sitting there, and what they had to say, what you read, it sent a message. Look, I keep on saying, if Richard Kuhn is being pulled like a puppet on a string, he needs to now realize that whosoever telling him to hold his ground, sitting down as a illegitimate speaker, a regime speaker, needs to free him, or he needs to free himself. At the end of the day, they will not look at who are pushing you. They're looking at you, who's really doing it. So the Supreme Court so far is saying that the process was wrong, which everybody already knew. This is not going to add up for the Liberian people because the majority of Liberian people don't see this. They're sticking that the law is the law. So they don't recognize Richard Kuhn as the Speaker of the House anyway. International community don't recognize you. So who are you speaker for? Joseph Waka and the people in the executive? So everything you do within the government will be fortunate at this point in time. So it's now for you. It's not time for you to go back to the drawing table and do the right thing and follow the procedures and the processes to get the speaker that you need, or Fanati Kupa will need the speaker of the house. But you have to make that decision because this thing has been dragging. You can't take it to a year. Like has been locking a lot. It's taking away from our people. That's why the lawlessness is in the country right now. Because the people of the country believe that if you guys in the house are supposed to set an example, you're not setting the example for them to follow. Why should they even, respect the police in the first place? So these are some of the things that we need this government to look at and make sure that what it's supposed to do in the house, right by the people, to do it so we can move on as a country. Thank you.
Mr. Nangbe?
Well, listen, I agree with Grace's interpretation. I think the today's was a hearing session. Obviously, it was not the day for ruling, so the ruling is yet to come. But the statements, the interactions, I mean, the law will be the law. But if we take the sum total of what happened in the courtroom today, the body language, and some of the assertions, the chief justice's request to the minister of justice for protection, all of these, when you sum them up, and then reaffirming the process that is laid out to elect the speaker. Obviously, what the 43 has been doing is not a process that's laid out. And so if the Supreme Court is affirming that, I think they're telegraphing what the ruling is going to be. I think, obviously they will have to vote. Three of them are required to vote, to have a majority ruling. But I think it's safe to say that they're leaning on the side of the rule of law, which, as they should, because anything less than that is chaos. We've said that since October, that this really didn't even need to get this far. But why are we here? Because the Minister of Justice interpreted the ruling of December 6th of the Supreme Court. It is based on that interpretation that the budget was passed into law. The president delivered his state of the nation under the gavel of an illegitimate speaker. And so it was necessary for the Supreme Court to come back and clarify what exactly they meant when they delivered on December 6th. So yeah, we're watching to see what the ruling is going to be, but I think I will venture here to say that we think they'll be laying on the side of the rule of law. And then we'll see what happens there. Once that ruling is declared, what the executive is going to do, whether they will continue to enable an illegitimate speaker, continuing to provide him with security and other amenities, or they are now going to reaffirm Councillor Kofa as the legitimate speaker.
Cyrus?
Yeah, thank you so much. My understanding of this issue, particularly when I listen to the Supreme Court justices today, I have this feeling that the court orally ruled today. Because when you listen to the Chief Justice, she was very clear this time around, and all of the justices were very clear. I think they unmasked the ambiguity in a previous ruling, and one of the issues that the so-called majority bloc is not cognizant of is that you will hear them talk about why he said the man doesn't want to resign, why he doesn't want to resign. But the hypocrisy is that they are now asking their colleague, who the Supreme Court has termed to be somebody operating on an only legitimate power. They are not asking Richard Kun to say, look, for the sake of our country, you need to give this space to the person who legally deserves it. But all you hear them say, why is Fonatina resigning? Why must he resign? The law supports him. The law supports his side. So there are a lot of things, and they are ignoring due process. And due process is a universal principle of law. In America, due process. In China, due process. In Liberia. So they are ignoring due process of law. And the Supreme Court is being clear this time around. So my only fear is if the executive branch is willing to listen to whatever decision the court brings, in their written ruling, if the president is willing to listen, because people continue to say, even though it is speculation, but there are folks who continue to say that the vice president is involved with the speaker's saga at the legislature. And the vice president, in fact, when I listened to him on an interview, his justification was so weak. His justification was weak. All he could say was the speaker has lost the confidence of his colleagues. So if that is true, then I think the vice president should be telling Richard Kun in his blog, say, look, gentlemen, I was in the legislature. I work in the House of Representatives. You guys can go and sit on this guy and ask him to recuse himself. I think that's a process. If that is done and he's legally removed, you can be speaker. But I think everything surrounding this whole speakership stuff is just highly political, and people are ignoring the rule of law. And one of the mistakes they continue to make is the issue of political question doctrines and separation of power, because most often you hear them talk about separation of power, and the Supreme Court continues to interfere. This is not interfering. This is about constitutional issue. And our constitution is clear that the Supreme Court has original jurisdiction on constitutional matter. You don't expect Fanati to go to magistrate court with constitutional issue. And that's the working of the judiciary. The judiciary has the power to interpret our law. The legislature has the power to make the law. They who make the law cannot interpret the law themselves. So they continue to confuse people. Oh, the Supreme Court is interfering with legislative issue. It is not legislative issue. We are discussing Article 33 and 49. That's not legislative issue. It's a constitutional issue. So, I mean, the guys know that they don't have case. They don't have case. The only thing they have is the executive protection. They have power. They exercise their power to coerce people who disagree with them. And some of the tactics they use to be suspending members. The court has said every action you've done and the one you continue to do, the court term it as ultra vires. So everything is not in the confine of law. But they continue. But for me, honestly, I don't blame Richard Kun in the majority bloc. I blame the president, because as of the president age, I think he has nothing to lose. So far, if he was somebody who is determined about developing Liberia, he should be telling those guys they have fact. There are too many crooks around there, and the president remains tight-lipped on some of the major happenings in the country. I think the president, an 85-year-old president, should be brave enough to take, in fact, some harsh decision and forget about the partisan approach. Or, in fact, it was so embarrassing when the president, that incident that took place at the Capitol Hill, he went, and in fact, he was so judgmental. The statement he made that this thing is an act of arson. That's why I don't even believe in a police investigation, because Gregory Common, just by parity of reasoning, Gregory Common was under instruction. The fact that the president has initially said this is an act of arson, Gregory would not have said something different. So I mean, there are a lot of things going on in Liberia, and the president needs to be serious about. Fanati can resign like other former speaker did. But should we continue on this path? If Richard Kun is the speaker, what if tomorrow another group of guys just wake up, they get to another place, they form rebellion against Rachel Quinn and say, look, we are not satisfied with you. Should we continue on this path? That's the question the majority bloc needs to answer. And the president needs to take this issue very serious, and I hope they respect whatever ruling the Supreme Court will be making.
So one of my friends told me that this is a powerful movement in Liberia, and it's very we Liberians should be very proud of what happened in the Supreme Court today. So there's a great test of the Liberian democracy, and we happy that our Supreme Court judges were able to sit there. That's why they brought the media, and Jeremy was saying he was shocked to see that they brought the media into this for the world to see what they were doing. So this is a proud moment. Let's see what happens in coming. I like what you said, Cyrus. This has to do with it's a constitutional matter. So the Supreme Court is supposed to interpret what is supposed to happen within that House of Representatives. And most people running it's a separate entity, it's a separate agency, or whatever they say. But we happy so far what we are hearing, because we want our law to be strong. We want the judicial part of the government to stay firm. If we don't have anything we have, that would be good, because the law sees nobody. The law is blind. So thank God that they are there and interpreting what they meant. And so far we see that they are on the side of the law, which a lot of Liberians are on the side of the law. So we are waiting for the coming days to see their decision on this, and then we are waiting also to see if the House of Representatives will listen and do the right thing for the people. They should do the right, because all of them in our house, there were the Liberian people that voted them into that position. And they are saying that the process that went on as far as electing a speaker was wrong. The process that went on as far as removing a speaker was also wrong. They should do it the right way. Nobody's saying that they shouldn't remove another copper, but that due process be done in what they're doing. And I'm very happy. I have hope. We always hoping, but I have hope today when I listen, a little bit into what happened in the course today. So I'm very happy. You guys, anybody can come in and then we can move on the topic.
Good. Let me preface what I'm going to say. When I think about a week or two ago, Honorable Musa Ability was on this show when he talked about what he thinks would be the remedy to our stagnation politically and economically is to limit the representatives' term to 2 years, maximum 3. If they have to face their constituent like they do in the United States, within 2 years, you will have to give an account of your stewardship. You will think twice.
Of course.
Some of you guys think, well, I got 6 years. Even if they don't re-elect me, I will have stolen enough, I will have done enough that I can leave. So one of his solutions that he's proposing is, if we cut this thing down to 2 or 3 years, the fear of facing your constituency to give stewardship, to give an account of your stewardship, is alone a deterrent. And I think we should take that to heart. And then I'll go back to our earlier social thinker, Alexis de Tocqueville, when he talked about the tyranny of the majority. This is what he was talking about. The tyranny of the majority, where unlearned people, political zealots, in the numbers will say, we are the law. Like Mr. Vanny Sherman, I look at him today, he is a shell of himself. This is not the Vanny Sherman that we all knew of yesteryears. It might be strictly for the money, but it is not because he's the fondness of truth. It is the money. He needs the money. This is a man that was sanctioned for corruption, for bad behavior like this. And all his assets in these United States was frozen, taken away from him. And today, he's in the court facing the Supreme Court Chief Justice, and she is asking him for a particular reference in our Constitution that mentioned majority bloc. He even went as far as saying the majority lost confidence, he should resign. Can you imagine? The Supreme Court said, this is a republic. This is not the British monarchy and their system. This is a Republican form of government. There are procedures if you don't want person, and it's written in your own bylaws, in your own house rules. If you don't want him or want her, the rule says you need 37 for quorum. You need 49 for removal. If you don't have your 49, you can't remove. If you don't have your 37, you do not have a quorum and you can't do business. That's how it is written, and that's how it's going to be. For Vani Sherman to have either negated that or didn't remember that tells me that he is not well. Like I said earlier, this man suffered a massive stroke a year or two ago. He had a major surgery where part of his brains were removed. Why would you hire someone who is disabled? The man had empty head. And I'm not lying, I'm not making this up. This man just had a major surgery. He had a massive stroke. And he was standing there like he was wet because the questions kept coming from everywhere. So if the logical people say we can deduce, we can come up with from what we see. The Liberian people say, if your Christmas is going to be good, you will know it on the eve, eh? I am seeing what I'm seeing, the amount of questions that I was hearing and the way it was going. I think if our Mr. Kuhn, quote unquote, purported speaker, I will be calling Joseph Wagga, where do I park the car? Whatever EPS you give me, let's work out a deal or something. It doesn't look good for them. And I don't think under no circumstance, I don't care how suspicious you want to be. There is no way, based on what we heard in the law, that the Supreme Court will rule for the purported speaker. I rest my case, Chief.
But
Tomalin, go ahead.
I was listening to you guys earlier when I was off. But when we interviewed the vice president, I was specific. I asked him this question. I asked him that question twice. I said, in the event the Supreme Court, in the opinion, when they render the opinion, is not in favor of the opinion states that that's what they're saying right now. We are discussing that they should go back to status quo and do things the right way. What will be the executive position? He said the executive will have no alternative but to comply. So we got it. So when I asked him the question twice, and he said they will have to comply with it. So now, with that in mind, prior to this whole thing, we learned that the former president, visited the president at Farming and had a 2-hour meeting with him to talk about the same thing. And President Walker, I think, told he met with the majority bloc and his head that was Speaker Kofa separately. And he told Kuhn that, look, this thing and this thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
If you're not speaking, please mute.
Yeah. So, and he said that we have this thing it has to end because it's affecting the government. Malasali told him, say, your government is being affected with this. So, for example, I believe that if the Supreme Court rendered an opinion and states that you should go back to status quo, that means Richard Kuhn will withdraw his EPS security detail. They'll withdraw the police escort that he has right now. the pay, the speaker pay that he's receiving, they will stop it right away. He'll go back to his original pay. And the executive branch will have to enforce according to our constitution, the 3 branches, the legislature makes the law, the judiciary interprets the law, and the executive enforce the law. So they have to enforce the Supreme Court opinion. And in doing that, he will have a scraping of all his immunities that he has right now. And definitely, the members of the rest of the lawmakers, they want to be in this thing for a long time, because it will be, they're not going anywhere, because the Senate will not cooperate with them. The Senate will have to stop doing business with them. The executive will not send on the ministers or the officials for oversight and to the majority bloc. So, and Speaker Kofa will not have a quorum if they continue to meet. So it will just be like that. And impasse will continue. And it will be affecting the President Bokar government. So President Bokar will now have to use his little influence he has to encourage the proposal of, y'all got to go back. You'll do this thing the right way. If y'all want to get rid of this man, you'll go back and you let him preside. And then when y'all bring a case, you have to step aside and somebody else will preside. And then the case is called. That's how they're going to. So I'm not worried about whether they're going to enforce it or not. The last thing you want to do, like I said on my page today, in any democracy, the guardrail, the last guardrail that help us to keep people in check is the judiciary. It happened in America now. We live in America. It's so happening right now. Trump is issuing a second order just like he's passing Cannon up. But guess what's happening? He and the court is going back and forth right now. Okay, they go back and forth. That's the extent where they are calling for to impeach judges and all. But that's how our normal democracy works. So right now, I believe that the last thing you want to see happen in Liberia, where the Supreme Court renders an opinion, and then someone try to undermine it or try to obstruct it. If you do that, the international community will get involved. They will get involved in different form, and President Bokar will be under pressure. So I don't think he wants to stall his agenda. He's in here. He wants to stay here now, and things are at the end. Number 2, I just got something just now where they are warning about Liberia. They say with the East Coast through Liberia into jeopardy, and a lot of things will happen, and we're in serious problem. The medication that will be given to our hospitals and clinics through that USAID program, and some program affected by USAID will be affected. So I'm not worried about whether they will implement or they will enforce it. So the issue here is what the Supreme Court will say. Now, in ending, let me play a devil advocate. Somebody also in the argument today, someone said, Supreme Court, they will leave it again open. What they're saying now, you'll go back, they're going to say you'll go back and you'll settle your problem. And the same way, and then they're going to be the same impasse. And I said, I disagree. Yeah, because those who are the majority now, if they tell you that your speaker is illegitimate, what you want to be sitting on him for? It's going to affect you, Then they're going to bring in a question. They're going to say the budget of your pass is not legitimate. Then everybody will start getting paid. Then what are you going to do? And some people depend on their paycheck to survive. You see, the guys in the minority block, they've been able to stop getting paid since December, but they've been surviving. And then that's how I see it. But I'm not worried whether they will enforce it. But we just want to look up to the Supreme Court now. We're looking up to who are they? Justice Nyenwolo, not Kabina, but Bese, CNN Johnson, Clinton, I think, and who again? Who the remaining 2?
Kaba,
and somebody else.
Johnson, Clinton.
Yeah. So looking up to them, the fate of the country lies in their hands right now. But for the fact that she's asking for security, that's why I'm a little bit. I don't know what she meant, but
because maybe they fear for their life. Before Mr. Lambert come in, I want to send a message out there to the majority black. Look, your people are supposed to vote you into power. The term limit on the whole representative thing said too long. Thank God 2029 coming. We need a president in that place. That's why CMC is pushing. We need a president in that place to maybe look at the term limit for these different representatives and the senators. Because when the people term is so long, they get lost statistical. So, but y'all gotta watch out though, because like when people now they are on the side of the rule of law. Look, this is a great day in our country. Majority of our people say, look, y'all go back to the house and do the right thing. So y'all who behind the majority of black that thing are behind, most of y'all will not be voted back into that seat. Just watch. Come, go ahead, Mr. Nangbe.
Thank you. Before I come back to what Tomalin said, let me go back to Jerome, the presence of vanishment in that courtroom today. You know, the Liberian legal system, it feeds on the little intangibles, you know. I will not say names, but most of the justices today who were on the bench there have been students of Vani Sherman's. There is a reason why they brought him in there to stand in front of his former students. So I'll just leave it there. But to come back to what Tomalin is saying, you know, I don't see how the executive can still claim ambiguity, any confusion over what is happening. First of all, a lot of us are maintaining that this thing has been perpetuated by the executive. They're enabling the lawlessness that is happening in that country, especially what we're talking about now. Look, remember the president should have submitted the budget back in October. He asked for an extension. He was granted the extension. And then the ruling came out. Then he asked for another extension to go and consult his lawyer. It was the lawyer's interpretation of how they understood the December 6th that brought him to now go and send the budget to Richard Kuhn and his 43. And then the State of the Nation inviting Kuhn and all of these things. So now, Kofi then went back and said, look, the executive is claiming not to understand what you have said because of the interpretation. This is the whole essence of the Bill of Information. So now that we think this is getting clearer, especially when the ruling comes out, they have no other alternative but to enforce the ruling, or else they themselves will be held. They now can be held in contempt because, as you indicated, it is their responsibility to enforce the law. They got to now provide Kofi with the protection, you know, all of the amenities that he needed. So now, the spot that Kuhn was drilling car into to claim he has to give that spot up. The office that Kola and other people were, you know, breaking and entering, they have to give that back up. And then, of course, the pay that he's been receiving, all of this, you know, and this is what is complicating all this, because now I think what's going on is this face-saving part of it. How do we backpedal this thing so that we all come out of it looking good? Obviously, the $880 million budget is already in motion. That cannot be reversed. How? I understand they're using 1/12 of it. I haven't been able to verify that because they themselves, I think they know that, you know, there is a very good chance that what they've been doing really is outside of the law. They know that. So I think they will have no option when the ruling comes out, and it turns out to be in favor of the rule of law to enforce the law. That is the only option they will have. Otherwise, I think the Supreme Court, and I was really impressed with it because the Liberian presidency being what it is, I thought the Supreme Court justices would be a little timid, and you know, but they were very clear. The body language that I saw in there, they're very clear on where they're going and what they want to see happen. So I won't be surprised if they begin to put it and hold it in contempt. I think there will be, if the ruling comes out in favor of the rule of law, they will have no option but to enforce the law.
And real quick, remember all this within. You remember we have a yellow card. We have that yellow card. They say we got 60 days to put our house in order. That's what,
Correct.
That's what the folks say. So all of these things are within our 60 days. If you cannot put your house in order, if you cannot have Congress, you cannot have your passport debacle settled, your foreign diplomacy thing is in trouble. You went and sent a questionable character as Liberian ambassador to the UN. Can you imagine a man that was indicted? Okay, we are talking about what is it, the Truth and Reconciliation, the TRC report. Okay, indicted Louis Brown, and then you took him and you made him Liberia's diplomat to the world, to the UN of all places, not Bangladesh or India, somewhere far away where people can see. You send him to the UN. Then you got your passport sales thing going on here. And then you're going to sit there to get your yellow card. Say, you got 60 days to put your house in order. You can explain that away all you want. That listen, the State Department wasn't too clear. They said we were one of 23 countries, so not just me alone. I didn't do anything by myself. That's the kind of childish defense that Liberia was talking about. People are saying it was 23 countries while we are Liberian. Should I go talk about India or talk about Uganda? No, I'm a Liberian. I'm talking about Liberia. So here we are. We got 60 days. Thank God that our yellow card is hanging over us. Cyrus, I don't know if you heard about our yellow card that we got. Everybody's scared to get the next one because 2 yellow cards are red. Go ahead, son.
So, Jerome, that is a draft. It is not a policy yet. So I don't think the 60 days have started clocking. But I have to quickly, full disclosure, Luis is a very close friend. He's a good friend. I will not speak for him. I will not speak for him as to his participation with the NPP and all of that. But I know he was brought in because he's a very good diplomat. He's a very seasoned diplomat, just as Sylvester Yanti was brought into the foreign ministry because they know the international.
Mr. Nambe, you can be the best. You can be the best of anything. When you are a criminal, you are a criminal. Period. There is no best criminal here. You are a criminal. You are a criminal. There is no best criminal and diplomatic criminal. Criminal is a criminal. The man was captured in the TRC report as a culprit, as someone who victimized people. There's no other explanation around that. There is no good diplomat will ever do that. Ever.
And the thing is that we have to. I thought we have to. We don't. Look, we like credentials. We like people who has experience that can do the work. But at the same time, we are saying to you that when you have to be held accountable when you do things as when they put you in a certain position, there should be a clear cut on whatsoever they're accusing you about. It should be shown to the public that you did not do these things. We know that controversial out there. We know people lie on people all the time. We are experiencing it even being on this platform. But we just see that if you are not clear on those things, you never went to clear your name. They put you in, they say you wear the one time where in China, or they can't put you right in the middle of everything. Then how the people see our country to be? Maybe that's some of the reasons why we even got a yellow card.
But let me say this though. I thought on the law you are innocent until you're proven guilty. So,
thank you very much. These are allegations.
No, these are not allegations though. He was indicted, right?
No, he wasn't.
No, but listen.
The TRC make recommendations. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
And a lot of people who are serving government, we are in the Senate, in the House, we're in government, and we are government, in other government, they are on our list, but they are not being brought to justice. So you get accusations. So you cannot deny Mr. Brown the opportunity to serve his country just on mere allegations.
So they didn't go to court for this because
Tomalin George.
I'm not going to support that because people lie, people need all the time.
Yeah, so
Mr. Brownie, then I take by my work.
Yeah,
Mrs. Guar, Miss Grace, the TRC report did over 4,000 interviews with victims and perpetrators, and the victims. They pointed out those who did raping, the killing, the cutting of arm, they did all of these things, right? The TRC did a comprehensive. You in these United States, if you had an accusation against you as a domestic violence perpetrator, you are a wife beater, and you went to look for a job and it's on your record, you will not be given that opportunity until. So nobody can tell me, say, okay, they accused me of rape because nobody convicted me. The woman pointed me out because I have not gone to the court. So I'm going to be walking around free. No, this is what judgment is all about. Leadership is all about, listen, I am going to bring Liberia best and brightest. And one of those things you do is to do background check.
No, but so Mr. Gayman, we'll get back to our topic, but let me make my point here. So they accuse President Weah, they accuse Koji, all the three they accuse execution level against people.
Right.
We all no evidence. So what all the people said, remember when people were on spoon during the election, they were just coming all the allegations. They say, oh, President, we did this one, the president did it one. So all the things they said, you should just believe it and say, oh, that's true, on no evidence. So
the TRC first came out, they said Jefferson Koji was never implicated in the
Jerome, you have to. What you're describing is the same thing we're talking about quarantine and due process. All the witnesses, those are discovered. They do that in law all the time. We're not lawyers. Or when you do that, you present the case. The accused must be given due process. Has Luis ever been given due process? These are all allegations. I'm not saying they're wrong or right, but I'm saying to you, the due process has not been accorded him. These are all allegations.
Listen, the United States that I know, knowing that they sponsored the TRC report, and they were part of it, and we have these folks, to have this man come to these United States that sponsored that particular research, okay, credible as it is, and for you to bring the man and say he is your face to the world, says a lot about who you are. So when these people are making decisions, it's the totality of the case they are making. That yellow card means you got 60 days to make things right. And
this is Ambassador Brown's second tour of duty here at the UN, though. I'm sure you know that.
Of course. He got fired too, though. Anyway, go ahead.
Somebody want to make intervention. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Tomalin, for having me. I just thought I was just briefly following what I really think. Thought to make this quick intervention here, and let me ask my own dear brother. This is Sylvester Pewee. Let me ask my own dear brother Gaiman to retract the statement that Mr. Brown is an open criminal. Where he put the emphasis, he's never been indicted. There's no court of competent jurisdiction that indicted Mr. Brown, or almost all of those that the TRC recommended that they should even be prosecuted. It was a recommendation. And let me inform you also that the Supreme Court did come up with some basic process about the TRC, part of the report, that a portion of it was totally unconstitutional. It violated, and not only violated, but blatantly violated the intent of the Constitution. So to come out, and again, this platform, we should work to remove emotion from the process and sentiments in terms of hating people, but we should rather, my dear brother, do things on the basis of the facts. Our decision-making process should be informed per the facts, and then we move according to those things. But the TRC report was heavily challenged, and the Supreme Court did opine on that. And part of the decision, there are a lot of other folks, most of them, that the TRC recommended should be charged with economic sabotage and all things. And people, certain individuals should be banned from going for public office. Some of those that were in that category of the former president of our country, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, that also pushed to challenge this issue. So, Mr. Brown, I got no personal tie with him or relationship whatsoever. I love to be clear. I'm one of those that criticize him sometimes when he and Mr. President, former president, got into certain altercation, if you will. But to come out and say he's a criminal, no.
No. I never said he was a criminal. I said he was charged by the TRC. And if you were making decision of that magnitude,
the TRC did not charge you. The TRC was wrong on that. I just keep to make some.
He was accused by the TRC.
No, you said charge. You just first said charge.
Listen, okay. A charge is an accusation anyway. He was not found guilty. The fact that he will be our face to the world, will he be accused of those kind of crimes?
Okay. I come again. The TRC was recommending that there was a recommendation from the TRC.
We understand that, yes.
Yes. So you are not charged, but they were recommending that he should.
We understand. That's what I'm saying. We were here. We saw the names. Even when Ellen Johnson, when President Ellen Johnson tried to wiggle her way out of that, you saw the condemnation from everywhere. That they said she shouldn't be. They said based on her position in the conflict, she should not hold public office for 30 years. That was their recommendation. And she was able to wiggle her way out of there.
And come on 1 minute. You just read the statement in now. You're trying to correct yourself now by saying there was a recommend. I thought that's what you should have said.
That's what I said.
And no, that he didn't say this, man. And
Mr. Pewee, okay, if I didn't say that, the fact here is, now listen to this.
He corrected himself.
Listen, if you were hiring and you were sending out the best and the brightest of your corporation, you will not send somebody that has yellow card hanging over their head, being charged, being accused for war crimes.
That's
what it is.
Give him quickly.
You don't have to be charged. You have to be, if you are accused, you are somebody who is questionable. I wouldn't recommend somebody who is questionable to represent me. That's my argument. Liberia should not send the likes of my Brown, who have been accused of war crime, to represent us. That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Gimel, let me conclude here quickly. And I think I respect you a lot. You are an individual, very good caliber written, if you will. Now, let me remind you of the doctrine of the presumption of innocence. You need to recall that and move with that. So you cannot, on the basis of mere accusation, deny someone of their fiduciary rights. You cannot. That would be tantamount to blatantly undermining the intent of the law. So no one should be personally punished for those things. No, until a competent court of jurisdiction is doing that, then we can move along. I mean, you're a very smart man. I respect you, and I hope you try to readjust the mode of your comment just now. It's important, but moving forward, I don't want you to be this kind of a open mistake that will impute on your very wonderful reputation and character. No, don't definitively condemn what I have done.
Pewee, thank you very much for your concern. But from my discipline, if I have anybody that apply for a job and you have questionable reputation, accusation of any kind, you will not I wouldn't hire you. You wouldn't represent me, especially the kind of heinous crime that our people endure for the Civil War. Anybody who was involved will not represent me, and anybody who sent that person to represent Liberia, that person's decision making is questionable, and that is why I'm saying he is part of our problem.
Thank you, Mr. Gimel. Let me just end here. Thank you, Tomalin.
Yeah.
Tomalin, let me say for the record. I'm ending here. Let me say for the record. Gimel is still defending what he want to say, and I wouldn't say nothing moving forward on that. But my point, and let me quickly hear Mr. Nambi. I'll listen to him first for the intro. And these are people that play for the process about multi-partyism. The strength of multi-partyism today brought the kind of a level that, you see, with democratizing our thought processes, it is the issue of pluralism. It's important to fight for it at the time, and what we all enjoy today. But for you, and it's part of the reason why people are treating those kind of accusations, right? And it's important, but we need to uphold the tenets of democracy. Part of that, the major element is to respect the rule of law, respect the freedom of every individual. It is in the Constitution. But Mr. Brown is not a criminal. He'd never been indicted under any circumstances about violating human rights. But he's been accused. Accusation is not tantamount to being condemned. No one can get away because someone can wake up and accuse you tomorrow, man. Should ask Sylvester Pewee and Sonny that. Have a very wonderful evening, guys. Let me go back to my secret room and do other thing. But thank you.
Yeah, but on a serious note, right? Look, Sarah, welcome. Sarah Dopo, welcome. Dopo. It's good, but the thing is that I'll be honest. The fact of the matter is that whenever in diplomacy, what I was told, what I learned that in diplomacy is that if you are being accredited somewhere, they send your credentials wherever to wherever you are being accredited to, and then if that country or wherever the mission you are going to, if they accept you, right, then they do an agroma. That means we're telling the country, say, well, we accept him. If not, they will say, no, we want that person here. They reject you. So for the fact that Ambassador Brown have been to the United Nations before, Honor President Weah, and then again, Honor President Baka, I mean, until he's sent to court and proven guilty, I don't think it'll be fair to call him to have problem with him, to say, well, he's tainted, because if that's the case, many of our politicians then they are being accused, And innocent, I mean, accused and with all no evidence until they are proven guilty. That's why it's important that the War Crimes Court, I don't know how far it's gone, but I think it's in jeopardy now because we're depending on usage to sponsor that, to support that court. And PYJ is dead. You should not pretend as if
there will be no war crime court
that court, mainly for PYJ, mainly. But so we'll see what happens in the next. But one thing I can tell you, the UP, that court have to be established because they ran on that campaign with that court and they signed into law, and we got to make sure that court is established. So who are running on UPTK? What are the Boyka or who? If they don't establish that court, that will hang it on the neck. 2029 will hang on the neck. But let's work on it right now. Also, let's go back to discussion. So I mean, we still discussing this Supreme Court stuff, or we can do our last round on it before we move to the next one.
Yeah, let's do our last round.
Just come in.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you for the show and thank you for having me on. I was religiously following the Supreme Court today with the argument back and forth between the two sides, and I pick up a lot of nuggets from there, especially when it comes to the rule of law. All along, the majority Black have been telling the Liberian people that they have the majority. They have the majority, and because they have the majority, so things should be in their favor. And from what I understood today from the Supreme Court, it doesn't work that way. If you have the majority, as a majority, you still need to fall in line with the rule of law, regardless of you being the majority. And also, if, for example, all of the Liberian people, let's say half of the Liberian people today got in the street and said that they want Joseph Boakai, and they're all in the majority. Will it work that way for him to come down? No, they still have to follow the law. They still have to follow the rule of law. So I think the nuggets that I got from the Supreme Court today is that, both sides are not, the legal, there is the speaker, he's supposed to be the presiding. And according to the Supreme Court argument today, the law does not show us how he is supposed to bring these people under his gavel. But at the same time, the law does not recognize a majority Black. So I can tell for you, for example, I can really tell from this argument where the court is going with this. I just wanted to put that out there. And we wait to see what the final, verdict is going to be like. Thank you. I don't know what else you guys are discussing, but that is exactly, what I took from the ruling today. I mean, from the argument today. Thank you.
Okay. Guys, Myean, before we go to the next, let's put the pictures up, man. Let me see the two guys, the two of our panelists. They just interface. They just interface in Liberia there. They they're watching the show, so they want for us to feature them. Let's give them. So Myean, put these guys up, please. I beg you, before they can find us here. Yeah.
Would I Lofa and who?
No, I think Lofa on the way back or either back or on the way back because. But let's announce that the closing argument. Our correspondent is in the southeast now. He just arrived in Grand Jida, and we'll post a picture later on for him arriving. He'll be going live in Grand Jida, talking to the real people and getting to know what's going on. But let's make progress. So as we say, the Supreme Court. Okay. Yes, Peabody and Abu finally together. Abu is fasting, so he's.
Abu trying to full up place.
Abu, you gotta fast a little more to put that belly down.
The picking enjoying now. Okay, more that's nothing.
You guys,
not working halfway.
You need 4 months fasting.
They're picking enjoying.
Well, guys,
can be shot on their platform.
It's good you guys met, man. That's good. I want to close the argument when you guys meet up there. You guys can have fun. So you guys meet is good, man. And
that is awesome, though. Very good.
People met Johnny already too. I don't think they ought to meet Lofa or to catch up with you guys, but Lofa is in campaign mode, so Lofa all in campaigning for Madam Ware. So, but good to see you guys, man. Y'all put something there. Something just rap. Something our man Grand G there. Put a picture too, please. I beg you.
He arrived already.
Yeah, he left this morning. He's in Grand G there now. Just arriving Grand G there. Okay, here he goes. He's in Grand Jallah County. He's gonna be doing live coverage from there.
Okay.
Just arrived. Yeah, he told me. He said he's in his hotel now, chilling, watching the show from his hotel in Grand Jallah. So
that's good. That's good.
We're live on Grand Jallah tomorrow and other parts of the southeast tomorrow.
What's happening in Grand Jallah, Tomalin?
I think they're gonna check they're gonna check on the roads that the government said they fixed, so that they're working on. Want to see the road.
Oh, okay. The model road, you mean?
Yeah, the roads where we see on the southeast road. Want to see it, and $22 million approved for that road, so want to see what's going on. So
are you kidding me?
Anyway,
the senator for Grand Jallah said that you can leave from Monrovia to Grand Jallah in 2
yeah,
hours.
Yeah, we'll see what that's open or right. We'll find it. Yeah, but so let's wait for the Supreme Court. They ended the argument today. They asked the toast Councilor Sherman to say, give your prayer to the court. Go ahead and say, I pray the court. And Council, I think as M. Wilkins right with the lawyer for the minority black, right?
Yes.
And these are two seasoned lawyers, law professors. So I respect them a lot. But again, I thought that Justice Yo, she really she gave it tough to Councilor Sherman. At one point in time, I said, "Oh my God, this Omar is giving the guy a tough time." But again, that's how they do in the Supreme Court. When you're arguing before the Supreme Court bench, you got to be tough. But let's see what happens. But so let's see. The Supreme Court, I think it's all set now for that Supreme Court issue. We're going to wait and see what happens. So let's move on.
But before you go,
yeah,
I keep talking about the 60-day yellow card, right? You got to give the Supreme Court credit today. For the first time in my lifetime, I saw the Supreme Court live.
Right.
Or any court in Liberia.
I almost wanted to say the same thing. Thank you.
I mean, I'm talking about the entire procedure.
Yeah.
From beginning, wall to wall, carpet to carpet, whatever you want to call it. You have to give them the credit. Is it because of the yellow card? I don't know, but I'm telling you, a lot of things are falling in place, and it's for the good of the country.
You're confusing me now. Which one is the yellow card?
Oh, okay. Well, Chief, you want to?
I mean, it's not a U.S. policy though. I think the
no. Listen, if you see how this government is proceeding, right? They drop knockers like Dapo said. Did you see this week there was a leaked email or text messages from the Department of Defense that they were going to drop bomb on Yemen? And what happened? People say, "Oh, it wasn't." And what happened? They did that. So when they are telling you that we have graded the different countries in yellow, red, and all of that, and Liberia was in the middle yellow. 23 countries, I think, were 23 countries in that category, and they have 60 days to put a house in order. Even though it's not a policy, but it was a proposal that was sent to the president's desk for that. And you see, Marco Rubio is stressing that this is not a policy, but yes, we have it on our desk. So you can rest assured. You can rest assured. And then you show the clip here. The kind of condescending way the guy was talking about the Liberian Maritime. People flying. Can you imagine Liberian flag and all that other stuff? This tells you that we have to redeem ourselves. Do we have any redeeming values? I think so. And to see the Supreme Court that has the reputation for being the highest, the last hope for the common man. I think today I was very proud of the Supreme Court. The whole world saw it. I mean, when you talk about transparency, so
I was very proud too.
Chief, you have to give it to the Supreme Court.
No. I mean, I give it Supreme Court. I mean, I was shocked when I saw them doing live from in the court. Even I was Supreme Court in the USA, we don't see it. Yes, but I hope. I mean, we enjoy it, and that's why a lot of Liberians were tuning the radio or watching it live from wherever they were, and watch what happened in deliberations. I enjoy it. You know, whenever you watch such a thing, you want to do law straight. You want to go do law because it makes
Some people yell at law. This day,
but I mean, that's
it makes you to be informed of stuff. You know.
Yeah.
You can be you better able to defend yourself. so to speak.
So we look forward to. I'm sure they will issue the final opinion either by next week Monday or so. I'm sure next week will not pass because the whole country is on edge now. So
Why is it taking so long? Next week.
and at the end of the day, I if whatever happens, the justice minister, I think he's in trouble. The legal advisor of the president are all be in trouble. Pressure come on them, so they better pray that it should go the other way, or else they'll be in trouble. People will call for the heads off. But we got to talk about the Nyenwolo. But let's talk about this story quick before we go to the Nyenwolo election quick. The Independent National Human Rights Commission has a alarm over the increase in human rights violations in Liberia, especially as it's in 2024 as compared to past years. In the 2024 Human Rights Report, the Independent National Human Rights Commission alarmed that there have been increased human rights violations in Liberia with police brutality top in the chat. Do you guys believe in you believe what he's saying? Sarah's coming. You believe what he's saying?
About what? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Human rights.
Sorry, you gotta pay attention now.
I know I was following the comment section. Sorry.
Yes, I do. You know, I just watched yesterday the police dragging
Right.
the police dragging the students who went to protest on behalf of their teachers. Is that sounding good?
Yeah. Okay. Oh. You want to go and come back and see what I will stop?
So yeah. Yesterday when I watched the police dragging peaceful protesters,
You got it sound. I'll stay there. You want to go out and come back?
Okay. Let me try.
Yeah, go and come back and see. Okay, so Mr. Nangbe, let me zero on them, Mr. Nangbe, and you're charming on this human rights report. They're saying that according to the National Human Rights Commission, they are saying that they are having an increased human rights violation in Liberia as compared to the past. So I mean, they say that this is increased now. So especially with police brutality topping the chart. What's your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I can go first.
Okay. Okay, yes,
I want to believe the report. I mean, the thing is, we all see, what's going on in Liberia since the government came to power. I'm not saying that there wasn't any human rights violation in previous government. There were, but since this government came to power, from rule of law to everything that has to do with the rights of individual citizens has been violated, and they don't care. You have an IG who comes on and go on video and say a whole bunch of stuff. Same as the president had, they don't care. They're going to fix the country. Yes, we want you to fix the country, but you got to fix the country within the confines of the law. You cannot be violating people. Like we see the violation of tenure laws. We see the violation of individual paper riders' rights. Okay, we also see the violation of a lot of things that are going on. Like the students yesterday that were dragged in the street. Not very student, black president, the former president, we as a Convoy so many years ago. What did he do? Did they drag students on the floor? No. The president got down and he spoke to the students. But this government has zero tolerance for anybody. They feel that they are in power, they are vindictive, they can do whatever they want, and nobody will question them. But guess what? The international community is watching you. And most of the things you do, even though individual Liberians don't have the power to fight you back because you got guns and you got authority, but the international world is watching you and they will hold you accountable for those things. So I believe that report, they have increased or they have violated a lot of people's rights and they continue to do so without any remorse. Thank you.
And before Mr. Number comes in, and I saw a video yesterday. One little girl, the police were escorting the girl, and she was crying, and she was saying, 3 months we go to class, no teacher, no teacher. And I mean,
I can send a video to you play it.
Yeah, please send it for me. Let me play it, man. It broke me, man. I felt so bad that. I mean, somebody. You see the little girl they won't go to school. They're yearning for school, but then there's nobody to teach them. Teachers not going to class. I felt so bad when I saw it. But Mr. Nagwe, you can go in while the videos are coming out.
Yeah, I mean, there are several instances.
What we noticed is that 2023 report was released as compared to in 2024. During early administration, the human rights report was not encouraging. When we are came in, it was a little bit better, but not much. When the party came in now, it's getting worse. What we noticed also is that the 2024 human rights situation report is more bad than 2023. And so, beginning January 2024 up to December, our monitor in the 15 counties documented 90 rape cases, 90. From 5-year-old, rape 5-year-old, 6 years, 7 years. And what is discouraging is that those cases of rape are still on the court docket. The second thing we also discussed in recent times among the commissioner has to do with the pre-trial detection. We noticed that all of the 15 counties, all the prison cells are overcrowded. They are overcrowded. Some people are being in jail for 4 or 5 years without trial. It's a violation of the constitutional right of those accused. Then we also documented torture. Torture has two phases, physical and mental torture. If you put somebody in jail and you torture him to confess, to say, yeah, I don't know who did it, because you want you to carry the court, it's a violation of the rights of that person. Then we have another one we call disappearances of people, people getting missing. The recent case that we have to do with a young man, a Guinean they call Kali. Kali was arrested by our security people for recruiting mercenaries to overthrow the Guinean government. He was arrested by the police and he was sent to court. When they sent him to court, the court decided to send him to jail because that offense is a felony of the first degree. While the man was in jail, he disappeared.
Wow. Wow. I mean, you heard from the human rights guy himself.
Yeah.
Torture, missing people, and that guy who was missing people taken from the prison, that was put a sting on his government for a long time, and until they can find out where's the guy, if the guy is alive or not, because if the Guinean junta came for him to turn it over to the Guinean junta, that I'm sure it would be part of it in the United States human rights report on Liberia. But that's a serious thing. But Mr. Nabi, you're charming.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure please don't get it, little girl. Myean, please play the little video quick. I beg you. The little girl that was crying. Myean, you guys can play a video. Okay, Mr. Nabi, go ahead until they can play.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, let me thank Mr. Sylvester Pewee for the kind words. I mean, that's exactly one of the reasons why I'm here, to make sure the progressive message gets out there. But coming back to the topic.
Okay, yeah, yeah. You know, it broke my heart. She said, your children, you'll be fine. 3 months we enter class because no teacher. I mean, oh my God. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, there's several instances, but I need the all put together to paint the picture. We can talk about, the demonstration prior to the fire incident at the Capitol building, the way that was put down, tear gassing, people got hurt and all that. We can talk about what happened in B Mountain. People got killed. I'm not sure we ever got to the bottom of those investigations. We can talk about the suspects from the fire incident, Eldridge, and I think his buddy. We all saw the images when he was brought into court and all of that, So these instances, are under a democratically elected government. This is not a military junta. So I think there's reason for concern. I mean, there are several other instances we could enumerate. But again, these are not the kind of things we expected to be happening under this government. I mean, and I'll be the first to say this government has a lot of my brothers and sisters who and I were in a struggle together. A lot of progressive people who champion the rights of the ordinary people. They're part of this government. And yet the silence is deafening. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I haven't read a report yet, so I can't pinpoint a specific incident. The one he talked about, the situation with the Guinean individual, I mean, that almost led to a diplomatic incident. I understand the Guineans came in here and demanded whatever they wanted, and when they left, we got 10 pickup trucks out of that. I mean, with 10 pickup truck, worth another person's life, I don't know. But yeah, there are reasons for concern here. A lot of unexplained violations. There was this incident in Logan Town. I think this LEC situation or whatever it is. Some gentleman lost his life. I don't think we'll be able to get to the bottom of these things.
Yeah, Mr. Gimman, the Human Rights Report.
You see, when these people are cataloging these things, this particular subject is not hearsay. They are counting. Because when you say someone was tortured, you have to give the place and time and who it was done to and all of these things. So these people will tell you, like the man said, 79 instances of rape. And of that, we got a 5-year-old babies. They categorize by number. Numerically, they have, they can't just make these kinds of accusations without numbers. That's what makes this particular report powerful, because they gave you numbers and they give you date and time and places where it happened. So it is bad. This is not a police state, but from what I'm seeing here, when you saw that photo from the CDC headquarters, that young lady that was beaten, I think they tore her clothes and they were parading her, and that picture went viral on all the front pages of the place. Those are the things we are talking about. Those are human rights abuses. And then they found out that the police had a fictitious warrant that was not even issued by a judge. These are the things they are talking about when they talk about police state, when they're talking about human rights abuse. You can't do these things. But it looks bad for our country. And when President Walker was campaigning, the second arrow in that is the rule of law. That's why that second arrow is all about the rule of law. And then when you juxtapose that to what we are seeing or what is coming forth, I don't know what you're going to call it. How do you defend that? I can see now in a war room, they're having the writers and the PRP force. But Kiatama reminded them, you cannot substitute PR for performance. No matter how good your PR is, if your performance is bad, it is just bad. I'll leave it as that.
Cyrus, ready?
Yeah. So it is really sad that Liberia is moving on that path. When a little girl was crying, saying it can happen to your children, when I watched the video, a brought tears down my chest. My father is a classroom teacher as well. And as I'm here, each time if I reach out to him, sometimes I have school fees problems, sometimes we don't have money to buy gas for our stove and all of that. When I reach out to him, I say, oh man, why you treating me like this? Why am I in foreign land and you are allowing me to be with hunger? And he will say, the people are not paying us. We've not been paid for 5 months. We've not been paid for 3 months, so things are difficult. And again, one thing I know is that the toxic propaganda the UP guys used on Mr. Weah and his government, because one of the things is President Weah did not have the right guys to propagate his message to the Liberian people. The information ministry did not do well under President Weah, and the propaganda from the UP crippled his government, and our people were left with no option but to bring those fake guys into power. And today, nothing is working. The human rights issue in Liberia is embarrassing. things that we've now witnessed in other countries. If you turn to Facebook, you watch toxic things in the country. The Bee Mountain incident, what happened yesterday, a lot of terrible things are happening in Liberia. And I mean, Mr. Gregory Como needs to be careful because Unity Party has not come to stay in power forever. You know, he appears to be too powerful. He appears to be too provocative. There are things they are doing, and there are other guys just working with impunity. And they do things as if there is no law. And President Boyka is somebody who has nothing to lose. He will regret nothing. But the young guys in the UP, the very laws they are abusing today will haunt them tomorrow. Because 6 years, one thing I know is that when people are enjoying, time runs faster. And for us that are suffering, the time looks so big to us, but for them the time is running. So they need to be cognizant of the time with all of the lawlessness. I was at the Supreme Court during the conference between the LTA guys and the 20 people that Barker replaced them with. This guy Patrick Horner made a statement that you know he was talking to one of the commissioners that have one pack and ball. We too have come for our past to ball. I mean, I was thinking, I was looking at here, I said, how could this young man speak in this manner? So what if another person comes tomorrow and the person brings another group of guys and they treat this Patrick man the same way Braca is treating others? So I mean, I feel for our country. It's so sickening to see a group of young people clapping their hands when they know things are not right. Liberians are suffering. And I mean, if they can just steal the resources as they are doing to allow our people to be in peace, the teachers, even the police that are executing those illegal instructions, they are not even feeling for themselves. If I were in the police, I think they would dismiss me because I can't be working for $130 that is not even coming on time for somebody to be sending me in the street to beat on peaceful protesters who are in fact protesting in our own interest. The guys are not real to their conscience. If Gregory sends them to execute illegal instruction, they should be man enough to tell him, look, all of us are affected by this, and when we see people protesting, it means they are doing it in our interest. But a lot of terrible things are happening, and everything boils down to the violation of rule of law. The president is not willing to listen, and now he goes around provoking people who oppose his government. He goes around, you know, talking. He just makes promises that they think campaign thing. They are still in their campaign mood. Nothing has changed. I mean, Weah was not the best, but at least during Mr. Weah time, days, you could see things in Liberia to point out. There were community road projects. In fact, the road project from Sending College to Yekepa was almost completed. We had did a lot of good things, but the information did not reach our people. But with this government, they want to pay the media to work for them, but the reality the people are living with is different. So it's actually sad.
Well, again, I would say the human rights issue, something I tell people not to play with it, especially when you are on the radar. And for the next 3-4 years of the Trump administration, it won't be Trump himself though, but the guys then are down at the bottom. They will take care of African countries. Trump will be focused on these bigger things like what you see he doing right now with these countries in the how do you call them, Venezuela, Mexico, Canada. What he'll be focused on. He'll be focused on with the Liberia, So the little guys there in the government, they will be taken care, and these guys then they can do anything, and you to even infiltrate to go to see them, to get them off, take you off setting stuff, it will be hard because young, you see guys with that boy, what they call him, Stephen Miller, that kid where can just say anything you want to say, that the kind of people and the age will be taking care of African countries, and we don't have much. So Liberia is not like the boy in Burkina Faso. That boy he doesn't care. He moving everywhere, and he's the thing that a blessing Burkina Faso with that young man is that he cut down. He really cut down everything, and the money he gets from the cuts, he put it into the economy, and he empowering people, giving people jobs. But our country, we far from it. We far from it. Look at the national budget. Look at the kind of money being spent on celebration, on all kinds of stuff, on cars. I mean, you know that we far from it. So you can't even put your hope right now to see that this government will transform Liberia. No, it's not going to happen, because if the budget we're going to reflect that, they're going to do what you're going to see from the budget. But it's the same thing. The same budget that come from, I mean, they have been over the same budget. You see, from Ellen to we are to that will keep on going. So right now, Liberia needs a transformative leader. If we find out that person not doing emerge, Liberia is I don't know what happened, but that's the serious problem we're facing right now. So I don't know. It might get the way we'll move on to the NEMA elections.
I just wanted to quickly say though, I really think Liberia is in the crosshairs of this government. I mean, besides the general stop order, we heard his president mocking Liberia in his own, Sona address. Donald Trump it is. And he talking about, 1.7 million or 17 million, I forget the amount, but that was being given to Liberia for, our tax, I think, to improve our tax system. And then, his commerce minister has been making some noise about, the ships that fly Liberian flags, how they're trying to, shut down the Internal Revenue Service and bring in the External Revenue Service, because they think they should go after, these people, they're not paying taxes to the government, and then now we're talking about the yellow card that Jerome is talking about. So I think they have Liberia in the crosshairs, and I really believe those who believe that this is really will not amount to much, I think it will impact Liberia very, very severely. I think the magnitude of the impact is yet to be felt. And the sooner our people sit down and recalibrate, I think the better off will be. Otherwise, the suffering, which is already intense, I think it's going to be compounded when the full reality of this thing sets in.
Yeah, so we got a long way to go, and things not gonna look things looking bleak for us. I don't know what will happen in the next 3 years with the usage cuts and all that's happening. We just gotta pray. We want to talk about pray.
I mean, the president. We didn't talk about that. The president is still appointing. Imagine, why do we have a watch commission? We have water and sewer. We have public works. We have what is it that a watch commission is doing? And those people, they're getting paid. I mean, look at what's in the press. Why do we need a watch commission? Then you have the Telecommunication Authority. Then you have the Ministry of Posts and Telecom. Then you have the telecommunication. I mean, it's like we're triplicating the functions of government. We really thought this president would have taken a scalpel to this government and shrank it. But the advisors alone this president has in his office, he is still appointing people, boards here, boards there. 87% of the budget goes to just,
Yeah, I mean, that's how they tell you that we don't offer change.
Yeah.
If you want to look, every night before I go to bed, I see a new video of that boy from Burkina Faso. I mean, I know people say he's a military dictator, he this and that, but the idea, the reason why, even if he's a dictator or whatever you don't see it, because you know what happening? The people love him because they see what he's doing for them. He opening factories. He cut down. He driving one old Jeep. I think he got 3 cars behind. That's all. He cut the ministers, everything down. In fact, at one point in time, he wanted for 2 ministers to share a car. They said no. They said no more money. They want too much. So and he just cut it down. As a result, he opened it. I'm so proud of him, man. I don't know. Yeah. I pray Liberia will get that person one of these days who will put the country first, will put most of the country revenue into the economy that will create jobs and opportunities for the people. But let's see what happens. Maybe 2029 we'll find that person. Maybe tomorrow will emerge. Who knows? Watching. But we are already in the NEMA election cycle. It's already on, and
Before we move to the NEMA election, I think I have something to say about the fanatic stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
Even though we are not there again, fanatic, the speaker does not know me. the speaker does not know me. He has never seen me before. But I love Fanati. I love his leadership, and he's down to earth. The way he moves, the way he conducts himself. I really love him, like our President we are. But Fanati is not playing a smart game here. The fight is deeper than we can imagine. Even though the legal side of it is there, but some guys are playing game. Some guys are playing game with the speaker, and so one thing I've been asking myself, what happens if the Supreme Court rules in the speaker or in his group favor? What happens after? And here is what I think will happen. There are guys around the speaker with heavy financial hands. They have the means, and the only reason this fight continues to intensify is that in fact, they are also working with the so-called majority bloc behind the scene, and they continue to give the guy resources and say, look, German, let's do this. At the end of the day, and the only thing they want to get in return is for the speaker to win the legal battle, and then he resigns after for them to surface. I think this is the actual rationale behind this entire fight. And I think the speaker needs to be careful. I sent him text on it. Maybe he did not read it. He needs to be careful. And somebody just needs to bring this to his attention that if he wins the Supreme Court case, and which I know is possible, he needs to now consider resigning. He needs to focus and talk to his colleagues. If they are not willing to work with him, then the legal battle can continue instead of giving in, so that somebody who you finance will surface. Because here is the thing. Mr. Fanatic Kofa enjoys the confidence of the Liberian people. The Liberian people, if you look on Facebook, majority of the people supporting the speaker are the ordinary people. And you see people playing games, people playing gamble with the whole speakership, only with the belief that after everything, the speaker will resign for them to come in, because they are acting like they are for the speaker. They are seen around his people, at the same time working with the majority bloc behind the scene, only to maintain the speaker group. At the end of the day, when there is election, the speaker group will be voting for them. At the same time, they will have guys from the majority group to join them so they can come back to get the power. It is not something that I think is necessary. But again, seditions are not people that can listen. The same thing happened to President Weah. There are guys, there were a lot of guys playing game, in fact, in Nimba. And when we were on the ground, when we heard the entire information, we told them, we said, look, we need to change the pattern in Nimba, but they didn't listen. They say, oh, we trust the other men. Seditious are people who trust. But I think this fight is deeper than we can imagine. That's just why I wanted to bring to all of your attention.
So let me say something to that.
What are you?
Tomalin, on your kid. But let me say something to that. No.
Why you John?
I want somebody else, but I didn't know.
Okay, go ahead, brother. Sorry.
That's okay. So, Cyrus, I honestly, I don't think Funat can speak of Kofa is gonna go a day beyond the resolution of this conflict. He's lost the confidence of his colleague. That is a fact. I think right now what he represents is the fight for the rule of law. That is it. He is undesirable. I don't think he should even put his hat in the race. I don't think he will be elected. I think I think Musa is in the running. I think he's proving himself on the rule and law order side. On the 43 side, I think Austin Taylor. I think he is also another individual who might run. But I don't believe Fonati is in this thing to be reinstated as speaker. I mean, clearly he's lost the confidence of his colleagues. I don't think he's going to run.
He said it though. He said it.
He did. He did.
He said it already.
He did.
Ruben Soko, I want to recognize you from River G, watching from Temple District in Willocan Temple District in River G County. I'm happy, my man. Happy to see you. Happy to see you watching from Temple in River G. That's good. Thank you, Ruben. Yeah, but again, like everybody's saying, but there's an issue though. I think Fonati wants to, like you said, Mr. Nangbe, he wants to set a record that if assume that the Supreme Court rules, and I mean they will give the opinion and says that they should go back to status quo and go back to the full session, and they return and they have and he allowed his day in court to face the accusers, and after that he decides that, well, for the fact that we have come back to this forum, maybe he started to resign. I think history will be kind to him.
Sure.
History will be kind to him that he stopped this arbitrary removal of speaker.
Yes.
He'll come to, and then in the legislature, like the Supreme Court said today, where it's vague is that whenever it says the minority should compel the majority to come, say you guys got to now put it into law how that should be implemented. So
Right.
in the future, when they say minority should compel the majority to return to session, they'll give them a reason, the way to how to do it.
Right.
So going forward now, you got to stop it, because look, until the speaker is, if the person does something egregious, something that people see that the person, like right now, okay, you see what happened now? Everybody calling for the defense minister in America to step down. Okay, people, Republicans are concerned about what happened. Okay, when that kind of people are in unity and they see something that the person have done, but I mean, they're accusing the man of the jet politics, because even his party CDC was mad that he was too close to the president. He was doing business with them. Your pastor like telling him to go, and then all of a sudden you decide to remove this man. I mean, and all they have done to this country, they have wasted millions of dollars. In the process, we have a capital building that will burn, that will put on fire. Yeah. Today, there's no thing for that particular case. We know where they're going. Then imagine they spend almost a month or two to the RJ hotel. We're paying for all that expenses. Then we saw them giving money for $15,000 to sign petitions. Look, so now that's why when you see Sylvester, I mean, I don't believe when somebody say that kind of thing. Yeah? You might put the legislature down, close it, pick up that up. Oh my God, it hurts. He can have him talk about Liberia now. It's troubling that for all that money being spent, and we got students sitting on the ground in a southeast there. In school, but on the ground. Teachers, the students were protesting yesterday because they said the teachers, they haven't paid the teachers, the one who volunteered to teach them free. But I'm really broken though. And well, I don't know, but at the end of the day, it's for that choice. Whether he will step down, like you said, Mr. Nagwe, always he has endured, and he knows that the confidence is not there for majority of the colleagues. But here's the thing though, if they put it to vote, for a non-person vote to remove Fonanti, that's the question. It may not happen. It may not get up for a non-vote, because that's the reason why the so-called majority have been refusing to go to do it the right way.
That's true.
But the fear of those guys, the so-called majority, is that there are lawmakers now who acknowledge the fact that Speaker Kofa remains the speaker, but now the fear they have now is that whether they will be able to carry their committee status with them, because they have distributed committees, and some holding lucrative committees, some foreign affairs, some public works. So now the major fear is that whether or not the so-called committees they are holding now, they will maintain their status. Or deep politics will play if the speaker wins the Supreme Court case. Because if he can place call to some of these guys and show them that, look, you will remain on your committee, will restructure the committee, and those are things they want to hear. Once the speaker is willing to restructure the committees to send them to good committees, I think he will dismantle that entire majority.
You know,
Cyrus, I couldn't agree with you more. You're absolutely right. I think this is where leadership comes in. At this time, I hope Fonati is thinking about it. He needs to begin to work behind the scenes if he really wants to resolve this thing and start reassuring those people. I mean, it's just like when a military coup happens and you call the people, I will forgive you. Or like, bring them in. That's where leadership, comes in. He needs to start reaching out. You're absolutely right.
I'm sure Fonati is a smart man, very brilliant man, loyal to. Fonati, but for the fact that Fonati have even kept his minority black together for this time.
Together, that's right.
Imagine, most of them they stopped giving them pay. We've held their pay, and we held their pay to keep them together. If the people he got with him, I mean, we give him credit though. Some people would have said we're abandoning the cause.
I understand during them being chipping in to pay the people. I know you're not married.
I'll be chipping in to pay the people. Tomalin, something the Supreme Court said was when they said the minority, right? She is saying you cannot compel. The Constitution does not say compel the black or the group to come back. It says compel your members. That is one at a time. So he has 30 members or 31?
I think 30 or so.
But he needs 7 more to have a quorum, right? He doesn't need all 73. All he needs is 7 more to have a quorum.
But then the thing that giving him hard time is the executive is not working with him.
Well,
that's the difference.
But now something we have to give, because the majority, the so-called majority, need 49. He needs only 7. Okay. So can he work with the former president to rein in the seditions that?
No, but Jerome, you have to remember initially I think they have 42 or 43. So they themselves they need about 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Right.
They need 6 or 7. He needs 6 himself to get a quorum if something flips. But I think his problem is, he says, as long as we have a quorum, I'm going to turn, and they tell me that they don't have confidence in me, even though it's not written in our Constitution. I will turn my gavel over to the deputy, and then they will have to go through the process of indicting me and having the hearing and all that. And then have your election. Whoever wins, but I'm not running. So that tells you that he wants this to end. Now let's see. The boy is going to be in Joseph Boyka's court. Mm-hmm. Recently, you saw the impact that we had at the House here in the United States. The President of the United States called in his folks, say, I want Mr. Johnson to be the Speaker of the House. We need 218 for him to become Speaker of the House. He came short, few votes short of being Speaker of the House. The President intervened, called his folks and said, listen, guys, we need the speakership. And on the second ballot, he got his 218. That's what presidents do.
Right.
President Boyka can call all his alliances, how you call the alliances or whatever you call them, that came together to make him president, can call these guys and say, guys, listen, it's looking bad. Let's make a deal. Let's ask Fonati Kofa to not run, but let him allow us. Let's go honor his gavel. He turns it over, and we have a new election. I think that is the balance.
That's it.
Now,
it's that simple.
Cole's fear is, if it comes to running, he stands no chance. He would never be elected. And then
you can't say that money can exchange hands. So
he's not the only one that got money in that place. I can tell you right now. They got other people that got more money.
Because of Mr. Nangwe making his debut, I want to recognize some of his progressive comrades that have led the struggle.
Marcus Don,
Marcus Don,
Oscar Kuya, Sam Jackson right in the middle there. Sam Jackson right in the middle.
And then you got Jerome Yasia, Jim Yasia, W.C. Wisa, and John Stewart.
John Stewart, the legendary John Stewart.
The guys who they said they were wanted. They said they were wanted. They put a bounty on their heads. But look, we just want to pay homage to you, man, and salute you.
Thank you.
And your
oh, brother Nangbe on that picture too. I don't see him.
No, I'm not. I'm not. But
we were But guess what?
Jerome is from that ilk too.
One of these days we'll talk about it. We have that debate. We'll have it. We cannot always shine for it. Say, oh, you want to relitigate it? Pass no. We'll talk about it one day. Where
I will ask them to reach out to closing argument. We're trying to mark April 14 to explain. I'm sorry, Jerome. I didn't mean to cut you off. But let me just say this because I will forget. What we've realized is, look, for 40 or so years, we fought for the space to be liberalized, pluralized, and it is happening now. But the next frontier is, social justice and, voters' education. We think our people need to understand the issues so that they will vote wisely. How can we in this day and age have two speakers at the Capitol building? How can we have a speaker calling himself a regime speaker? So those are the kind of things we're trying now to to focus on. But I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Before you came on, Tomalin, I said thanks to Closing Argument for inviting me on. I also freelance with Focus on Liberia and LPR so far. I'm grateful to the team at Focus, Dennis and Ansu and the rest, and also at LPR, Alfonso, Samson, and the rest of them. It's an honor to be here. We very much appreciate the opportunity to make our point.
Thank you. Again, like I said, we'll one of these days we'll have this conversation because people got to understand where we came from to this point. Because I remember my late father was a member of the UPP. I know what they went through. And
I met your dad.
Okay. Okay. And in fact, when I moved to Monrovia from Firestone, we were living in Chuba. Gabriel Bagat Murphy was downstairs, and then we were upstairs. I remember vividly, when November 12th came, He told the Opa, he said, "You're sick, no matter you get up, you don't leave your house." He says, "This thing will change. You don't just overlook door. He's in charge." And exactly what he said. Those who were celebrating, when 2 o'clock came, he said, "I told you, here's what's happening now. People running now, people hiding." But people got to understand the story, the history of Liberia, because what we came from the settlers to before 1980 and went there to people got there, and today again, after the progressive that they blame now, know what the country is today, and people believe that had the true party not been removed, been far place today. So that argument will have that argument one of these days. So we'll bring people from both sides to come and have that debate, so that people can understand and appreciate what is called multi-party democracy. Because trust me, if you live under the military regime, you know what it meant. You couldn't express yourself, and you'll be arrested. People.
I'm sure you remember degree for 88A.
I see people say that brought in military. As soon as people can say right now, they get so frustrated. They say right now, only problem now we need military to take over the country. So like I said, because some of the people are saying that some of them young, they may not understand what it means to be on a military government. They don't know. So now when you say how much you get frustrated, they don't understand that it can carry you way back. Yeah, you see right now in Guinea, the guys are doing good, but guess what? They're not talking about election anytime soon now. No. Also, the guys are in charge. So election, they're talking about it right now. So right now they are moving. Rwanda, all places there. So, but we'll have that debate. We'll have that debate very soon. Very soon. I want to appreciate you guys. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you guys.
Nima. Okay, the Nima election is on. I know Sarah will not talk much today. I heard that he has been restrained. I know, but he said we'll bring it on Saturday, but I heard he's been having restrained. So I don't know whether he's
Sarah on a gag order.
Yeah, I know Sarah can't talk much, but level Sarah. But Sarah, we'll start with you. What's the state of the Nima election right now? The by-election. What is the state of it?
Well, the process is ongoing. The process is tense as we speak. But for me, I'm hugely conflicted. Yeah, I'm hugely conflicted.
There goes that word again. You better quote Cummings, conflicted and all that stuff. Go ahead.
All right. Sorry, you got Mike Blue, you got and Yellow. They got Edith Gongloe, they got
Prophet Key.
Prophet Key, why didn't he use that?
Yahweh or
I saw him campaigning today. The guy, look, the guy is.
Look,
got there to do it in the hospital. He said, we'll get you all come here free. So men in order to make more babies.
Oh, Prophet King.
yeah.
They make a video.
Well, why I make up about the vice president's statement?
It's a video for you. I'll see it. What is it?
Oh, well, let me look for the video and send it to you.
Okay.
Okay. Cyrus, go ahead.
We'll be talking. I'll be talking.
You know, the election, I have three persons that if either of them win, I will be happy, you know. And one of them interestingly having to be on Rokoga. You know, people George, when I told you the last time, on Rokoga is a good man, you know.
Wow.
Let's forget his role in the so-called majority bloc thing. He is a good person. When we're talking about Nimba, he's one of the faces we have. And in terms of helping young people on Rokoga has been doing well. Even mean to reach the level to be senior student in a law school today, is because of his goodness. So I honestly owe it to him. And again, I grew up with Yellow. I grew up with Yellow. He brought me, or he read me. In fact, he the one who guided me to do law and all of that. And the Gongloe too, there are people that I love so much in neighbor. So that's why I'm not really active in the election. But here is the thing. Unlike Prophet Key, I think I don't like to talk about Prophet Key that much. I don't like him. You know, his presence in the election annoys me. I don't like to talk about him. But what will happen in the election? Like the election is now taking tribal trend. You know, honestly, Nimba election every day is just about tribalism. People from different region will not want to support people from another region. So I think it's getting unique to Nimba now. So this is the real trend the election is taking. But I feel for Onrokoga though. I feel for Onrokoga. I understand the VP endorsed him, but the VP's endorsement does two things to Onrokoga. The first thing is it adds value to Onrokoga's process and it subtracts from Onrokoga. So there are people who do not want to hear the name Kun. And the fact that he has endorsed Onrokoga, they might angrily vote against Onrokoga because of him. And there are people who love Onrokun and they will vote Onrokoga because he has endorsed Onrokoga. So that's the two major things Onrokoga is faced with. But what I can say now is if Onrokoga wins the by-election, I cannot attribute it to Kun's endorsement because I know Onrokoga has his own weight. And the fact that he has joined the MDR and Kun is now a member of the MDR, it will also help him in the process. But if you carefully look at the tribal sentiment, the election might favor Edith Gongloe, you know, because there are proliferation of candidates from the Geo Belt. You have Garrison Yellow, you have the Koga himself, you have Mike Blum, you have that George Gompu, and these are popular faces. They have followers. I mean, the three best guild candidates I know of now are Councillor Garrison Yellow, or Samuel Koga, and Big Brother Mike Blum. So the one of the embarrassing situation is that Yellow and Koga are long-term political allies. They've been working together. They call each other brothers. You know, they've always stood by each other. So the fact that now they are falling apart is troubling, is embarrassing. Most of the young people will only express their will during the day of the election because they do not have the face to go on Facebook to say I support Koga or I support Yellow. You know, everybody is embarrassed with the situation because Yellow and Koga almost have the same supporters. if you support Yellow at the time, automatically you are Koga supporter. That's how it used to be. And now the both of them are going against each other, so it's something embarrassing. Like for me now, what I normally do is when young people reach out to me and say, Cyrus, who do we support? The first thing I do, I ask you in return, I say, who do you want to support? And if you say Orokoga, I say Orokoga is a good person, you can vote for him. If you say Yellow, any name that you mention, I say you can vote for the president because I don't have that faith, and because of my conscience, I can't encourage or discourage somebody for not voting for Orokoga. God will not bless me if I do one. And I can also discourage somebody not to vote for Oro Yellow. Not even Madame Gongloe where if when people reach out to me, I ask them, who do you want to support? When you say Madame Gongloe, I say she's the right person. So that's what I'm doing right now because I'm embarrassed about the entire process, but the trend the election is taking. I think because the Madame does not have anybody to share vote with, even though the guild constitutes, I think, 60 to 65% of the entire population of Limba, but the number will be split among Yellow, Koga, and or Blomo if care is not taken. But one of the things that will also help on Rokoga in the process is Yan Tuanyen, who is a minor senator, will support about is supporting Koga. Because here is the thing, Yan now is thinking about 2029. Yan is under the obligation to support Orokoga because if he fails to do so, the Gio people will angrily vote him out in 2029. So I'm thinking if the Manon people will be able to listen and vote for Orokoga because of Nya, this is something that I can't guarantee because our elections have always been trouble. But with the face Martinoke Tingba, other people will reference it and say, oh, he and Edith are from the same Manon group and they are contesting, But here is the thing, Madam Gongloe, when push comes to shove, Madam Gongloe will treat Dorko or Tingba like the same way she treated Dorko during the 2020 election. Dorko contested against Madam Gongloe, knowing fully well that the Manon people wanted Manangonglo to be the only candidate from their side, but then Dorkobo did not listen. He went and forced himself in the process, and now it is speculated that the vice president has planted um Kingba in the process against Manangonglo. So I don't know if it is true, and there are similar information coming up that he's also supporting Mike Long on cover to honor man on Rokoga because truthfully he does not like Orokoga. He's just supporting him on the surface because of fear, because the traditional support Koga enjoys. So he is under that moral obligation to do what he's doing. But he's the one, I'm told he's the one supporting Proper Key, Mike Bloom, and all of that. And now he's getting scared. He's getting scared that Manangonglo might win the election. He's having conversation with Mike Bloom behind the scene for Mike Bloom to pull out of the process. But now I think it's late to do so because Mike is a registered candidate. So to getting out of the process is getting a little bit tough. So a lot of politics playing. I think Orokoga just need to do well. And as we speak, he's in Limba, he's in the trenches campaigning. So if Koga is to win, I don't think anybody can attribute it to Jeremiah Kuhn because I know for a clear father, Koga is a very strong politician, and the father he's a man that gives many young people, especially this time where things are tough. You see, most of the young people in the trenches dying for him with all of the other political role they've been playing. Nobody is looking at that. But I can assure you, there are guys that will even want to die for Orokoga because he's a guy who gives, And the Garrison Yellow factor is embarrassing. They will share the vote. They will share the vote in the guild bell if Kia is not taking. So far, that's what I know about the Nima election.
Wow,
And Garrison is no push over. He did pretty good in the last election.
I was talking. I saw
No,
the number
Yellow has entered Koga backyard in Booyah. Yellow has entered Koga. You know, Yellow is loved. Yellow is loved. Yellow is somebody that young people favor. They follow him. You know, even if he gives you story, oh, I don't have money, I don't have this. But the young people love the gentleman, and the gentleman understand grassroots politics. As we speak, he just entered district number 5 today, and they kind of crowd I saw behind him. It got me thinking.
You know, when Sarah was talking, when he started to talk, we're at 8:11. When he started talking, the number have grown to 8:50. I mean, you draw him, and people texting me now, asking me about who the young man. People asking me who the young man.
I think Sarah's understand the politics.
I will give it to the young man. He understands the way he explained it in my politics. You can tell that he really understands politics, because on a serious note, I was told that the legs of Mike Bluon and Yelu and Koga and Madam Ware, these are strong candidates. They have huge followers. And like he said, so for somebody to say the person will blow the person up, I don't see it happening though. And the election is being closely monitored, closely watched, and we can't give nobody out. And I even heard that the former ruling party have put some resources in the race already. They got about 3 candidates in the race. I think 2% already supporting. I don't know yet. So they already put some money in the race already, and they gave them with some motorbikes and all. And so the election is not for joke. But the fact that the former ruling party is all involved in the election, no, it's not an easy thing. And they are putting resources there already. Yeah, but then I'm learning too that because of what's happening in Nimba, they are attempting to get some people out of the race. We're trying to get people out of the race because, like he said, rightly said, you got about, I think about 3 or 4 candidates in the race now, and the Nimba election is about simple majority, not about runoff. So anybody can win by simple majority. Now, with that in mind, if you take a look at the election between Madam Ware and Vice President Paul, for the senatorial position at the time, you notice at one point in time that people on Facebook wrote and said, "Oh yeah, Madam Ware was feeling winning," but then later on, you know, they say the team changed. What happened? We know. We stay in front of what happened. Actually, didn't win that election. We don't know about it. At that time. You know, at that time, Kuma is the driver of Kuma or CDC voting ball. So at the time, CDC when he joined CDC come from. So
they might not be here. They rock her. So you know, yeah.
So right now we got a bunch. I want to hear about the thoughts on the election, and it's a very close election. Don't overlook it. I will not give up on Yelu, on Mike Bluon.
I think it's gonna be very good.
And Koga, I will not give up on that.
Cyrus. Okay,
yes, sir.
This is a question for you. I know when Edith ran against Prince Wyatt Johnson, it was a very close race, right? When she ran against the vice president, it was a very close race. So the numbers you are talking about, 60% Gil, 40% Mana, or something of that nature. When you look at the past results, it doesn't pan out because she cut it. It looked like she cut across a greater share of the county because the election was very close, and Prince Johnson was very popular at the time, at the height of his political career, and she came very close. Same thing with the vice president. Yeah, because President Myean and CDC, they put a lot of reason to put him over the top. So with those two personalities not being there, like you say, Edith is most likely maybe the front runner to me. Besides, because based on what you were saying, even campaign is not officially open yet. And like you say, he's in the trenches. People telling me that he got pickup truck with his pictures and they're giving out things while the campaign have not even started. So there gotta be some fear that Koga has.
Yeah, but you were accusing Musa, Ability, and other and Mike Myean of campaigning when the campaign has not opened yet. So why is he doing pickup with his picture on it and all of that? Is the campaign open now?
Cyrus, you the mayor, you're from there, so all the arrows coming to you.
So I don't think I'm in a position to make negative comment again.
You see what you did? You get the numbers up. How about that? Let them
So
post that.
here is the thing.
Somebody, I'll send you that video.
On Rokoga, I can't sit here to completely analyze as to whether Madam Edith would beat him like that, but I know if things continue the way things are, it will affect the Gil candidates, and Orokoga having to be one of them. But again, Orokoga and Madam Edith might fight on a minor vote because Orokoga cut across. His mother is a minor woman, and his father is a Gil man. So the minor people, especially the people of District Number 8, where his mother hails from, they will actually vote for Orokoga on the way things are going, and the Gio people, especially the people of District Number 5, the district Orokoga currently represents, will actually vote for him unanimously because all of the candidates are contested against him in 2023. They just endorsing, all of them endorsing, so it speaks volume. But the election, again, like I said earlier, Orokoga needs to play his card well if he actually wants to win, because I don't think he should rely on Kun, because this Kun thing, he just trying to prove supremacy, that he has a base. That's why Kun is trying to prove, he wants to prove that he has a base. But I can assure you, Nimba, right now, the voice that used to direct the people, you do this, you do that, the voice is not around. This is the first test. It's a litmus test for Nimba. So now, Kun fight is to prove a point to the world that he's in charge, and that Nimba will listen to him the way they used to do for Senator Johnson. But that's not the case. That's not the case. It's something different. For me, I do believe that Senator Johnson has some extra things he was using, but the name Edith Gongloe way. You can't overlook this name in Nimba, because as great as Senator Johnson was, this woman used to go neck to neck with Senator Johnson, and she only used to rely on her man vote. Edith does not need Gil vote to go head to head with anybody, because she understands campaign. She knows how to use the message. She tells her people the straight thing, and the people believe in Edith. So if Edith could challenge Senator Johnson, and she keeps second all of the time, even with Jeremiah Kun, she beat Jeremiah Kun flat. It's just that Jeremiah Kun was at the time, he was with the ruling government, and it did some maneuvering to get him to where he is today. That's why when he made a statement the other day calling President Weah a common citizen, I laughed at President Weah. I said, yes, because you can't fight for everything. This man did not win the election. You fought the will of our people and made him senator. Here is the man I'm calling them common citizen. But again, Kun will have to know how it feels when power leaves man's hands in 2029. But with this election, I'm careful not to take a position, because I love three of the candidates.
But Sarah, where does Dr. Gumpu get his vote from?
Dr. Gumpu will get his vote from District Number 6 and District Number 5.
In terms of Mano or Gil?
He's a good president, but he's not a popular figure. He's not a popular figure. His name is not too familiar in name. Yeah.
What's about Mark Blaine?
The bloom factor is something that I can't underestimate. Bloom will make good. In fact, one of the things is Koga is considered as the winner of the election even before the election is held. On Koga, everybody sees him. In fact, the opposition treats on Koga as the incumbent. So right now, everybody sees him as the winner. But with the presence of people like Mike Bloom, for example, whatever vote that the Gombu will get, it will subtract on Koga vote, the vote or Yellow will get will subtract or Koga vote. You know, so the likes of the Guar candidate, whatever portion of the vote they get will diminish the number on Koga names to win Myean Gongloe. For me, that's how I see it.
So, Mark, what if you were proportioning numbers? What is Mark Myean's chance?
Well, I will not call the first winner name, but Mike is not in the first three. Mike is not in the first three. Mike, I think my position in the entire election is he will come fourth. He will come fourth to somebody, and I know who he will come fourth to. I will not call the person name, but he will come fourth to somebody.
I got a quick question for you, Cyrus.
Okay.
Do you think that what happened with the death of the late senator, all of the betrayal and everything, at the dying minute of his life, there were several videos that came out, with that war chronicle thing and how he was not satisfied with Jeremiah and all of that. Do you think that's going to play in this election?
So that's the exact reason Orokun is supporting Orokoga, because he wants to use Orokoga victory to cover up. Orokoga and Senator Johnson are cursing. Now that Senator Johnson made Kun and Kun betrayed him, Senator Johnson died as a result of betrayal. So Kun betrayed him. The Nimba people know that Senator Johnson died because of Kun's betrayal, and now he wants to use this election to cover up.
Right.
So that's why he's not doing that because he loves Orokoga. He's trying to use Orokoga as a bridge to cover up, to get reconnected with the Nimba people.
Tomalin, there are complaints that there's feedback. But
Myean, you're playing Koga can sit out on the international radio and say he can't eat, he don't rain the ear. The damn people are with him at that way are. You ain't want to sit, just for the vote. Any vote other than Koga, you're wasting your vote. Get a vote to Koga in bulk. The man people, I'm appealing to you. Please come to the coup. When I call the damn people, they came to your coup. The big people, the big people, the Madingo people. Please support the damn candidate. Support Koga so that we have a balance in the county.
Thank you so much. So that's the breaking news.
And normally, the president will ask my advice because I come from Nimba. I know the politics. So, as vice president of a country, way up here, I can reply with any representative. Musa is a brother. He has freedom to say what he wants to say. I have no comment to that. Why I'm saying to you that why you are here, and I want to also.
This is my election. So this election.
Wait, I got a question. What was he referring to? What coup was he talking to? If I call you to the coup, you must come to the coup. Is that a coup? Actual coup? What is that? What was he referring to? Sarah, you know?
He cheated on Orokoga in a by-election with Nyenwolo. He cheated. You know, here is the thing. If the CDC had changed the election magistrates in Nimba, Kun would not have won the election.
I know.
The magistrates, do you know that the result that came in the second round was higher than the first round result?
Yeah.
To the map in the Nimba election, they can't control things in Nimba, so that's why when he's speaking, he speaks authoritatively.
Right.
And the coup he was talking about is that the fact that he has the magistrate under his control, and he told the magistrate that this time it was for Nyenwolo and Nyenwolo. This time it is for Orokoga.
Oh.
So he expects them to reciprocate. So that's why he was referring to. But this statement,
so there's some kind of a kuku there that he's depending on.
Oh yeah, but I want to say something.
The election will be monitored. And I can tell you this though. I can tell you this. EDF campaign, they're not taking it for a joke. People are not from America. A huge team from America to go on the ground.
But look, but the thing is, those magistrates are still there, though, Sarah. Those same magistrates are still there.
But Sarah, the problem is this, right? Like I say, look, technology has improved now, and what people are gonna do? The people are gonna go there strong. They're not gonna go there and allow people to play with their vote. So everybody try to short end this election, they'll be exposed. I don't think it will happen because and the people are putting a lot of stuff into it. Then imagine, someone really party spending money on 3% there. I mean,
because the reason why I'm so concerned about the statement the VP made is all of them are so very vindictive. All of them are so sure that Koga is going to win because there's a coup. There's a coup that they plan to play for Koga to win.
You know, Sarah, I know Sarah's explaining, but my wife is from Nimba, so I have a little bit of understanding of what he's referencing. It's like a susu to maintain the balance in Nimba. There's an unspoken agreement that the senatorial position, usually they have to give one to the Mano people and then one to the Gio people. And then the other smaller, the Mandingo. So
you were referring to the balance of power.
Exactly.
But that's not true because the last time when I was in Liberia, my friend Thomas Groupie. Mm-hmm. Thomas Groupie was a Gil himself.
That was an anomaly.
Right.
That's not usually what happens.
Okay. Exactly. Thomas Groupie, the old man Johnson put his hand up, raised his hand, and rallied the Myeans to vote for Thomas Groupie. So yes. we have had.
We're not there again.
You're not there again.
They can't use that to say we need a minor. It has to be a minor.
Like Sharon said, it'll be a litmus test, and yes. I can tell you, I'll come back again about cheating the election. Anybody who think about cheating, it will be exposed. You know why? Look, I can tell you for a fact because I know people from the Guar team. They are going on the ground. They're going to be prepared. They're not going to allow people. Because don't forget. They will want how she won election before. She went our third time won election again. Okay, because she ran against Prince Johnson at one point in time, and I think then she ran against Oshie Kuga. So she's not going to take it for granted. So she's not going to take. They're not taking it for granted. If you will beat this woman, you will beat us fair on a fair basis. But you think you want to use influence?
Just stress on the ground because
they're going prepared, and that's why. All the press people like bro being on the ground, they're gonna. The election will be monitored. Don't forget, the U.S. ambassador was there last week, and he talked about the election. He talked to your consumer election too. That how prepared are people for the election. So everybody watching this election, it's not gonna be somebody that will just steal the election. It will be hard, and because the thing is simple. If you everybody and I want to they can say I'm talking to the opponent strategy, but if you to an election to a precinct, right? In the campaign, in the poll close. Okay, you're not gonna just everybody got to sign. And when they sign, they send it straight to the war room, and it will be posted by time. So NEC will be very careful to results that not consistent with what the people have signed. But all the people got to sign the tally sheets and send it. And technology advanced. I mean, I understand it. I will always say again, 2023 election. I will say it was not free and fair. There's no way it's coming to 1%. I will say again. There's no way it happened. Coming to 1%. And no way
Appleton. Free and fair at all.
Appleton to third place. Who is Appleton? So I will always say that election was not free and fair.
That's correct.
If I think it's an election that happened to happen again, make a mistake. The election will be a little more tell like Sarah said. Watching carefully.
Okay, Cyrus, real quick. What do you think about Mrs. Johnson and Prince Johnson's daughter? We're hearing all this. Rick Monroe, she came on and she identified people who betrayed her father, and she called the names. And then Mrs. Johnson endorsement. How do you think this is going to play out?
think the statement she made all happened because Koga is in a bush campaigning. You know, right now Koga is the face for the Johnson's family, and I believe is it was in time she would not have come to the media. You know, right now things will happen. Even if Koga wins, it does no harm to CDC. It does no harm to anybody. You know, things will happen. Let's watch the process. And in fact, myself, I will be happy if he wins because I want for Kun to take something. I want for Kun to take out certain things. So that's all I can say for now. Her endorsement was in place, and we pray for the best.
What did you say you want for Kun to do? I didn't hear you.
I said if Onokoga wins, it does no harm to CDC. It does no harm to anybody. I will want for Kun to taste how betrayal feels. I want him to taste something. That's what I said.
Okay. The Nimba thing. I know you say you want him to feel how betrayal works because of what he has done. Prince's daughter, you don't think her heartfelt pain that she's suffering and putting it out there, you don't think it will have some impact in Nimba?
You know, Prince Johnson children are not actually known in Nimba like that. Most people don't know. Some of us got to know them when the old man passed. It could be the case, but I don't really believe that because the thing of Nimba is traditional counting. And when the people make up their mind on something, change it is too difficult. You know, so I'm not too sure her statement has something to do in Nimba, but what I do know, she knows that Akun actually is the reason behind her father's death. And time came, they wanted to first stay in the media, but people been using cash here and there, suppressing it when she wants to speak. Even other guys that I know around Johnson try to force it out that Akun. In fact, there are some mysterious things that happen when Senator Johnson died. The very day he passed, when the madam, his wife, placed call to the VP, letting him know that the old man is doing something that we don't understand. When he rushed at the old man's residence, he people down crying and he them up to get the man his stay he used to work with that he passed.
Yeah, the king.
So he went there to get it because I'm told that's where he had a power, but it didn't mysteriously disappear. You know, so that's how desperate Kun is. He actually wants to get the power, and he doesn't know the source of it. And someone told me from the senator, the late senator, inner circle, that the people that he had and the lion before, because he knew that he was and he didn't want his power to return to Kun, so he sent those things to Togo. He sent those things to Togo.
Okay, my last question: the Musa ability effect.
I don't trust Musa. Really, to be honest, I don't trust anything about Musa. He appears to me to trust him. You know, who understands playing card and all of that. But he's giving support to people I like. I don't want to talk about him to jeopardize a relationship with them, but I don't trust him. I don't trust anything about him.
Well,
he does not have that ground in Nimba, politically speaking. Musa is struggling to find his space in Nimba. You know, 2023, most of the people who voted Musa, if you follow the data, Musa vote did not come from Liberia. He brought people in from Guinea and all of that. You know, and he had to bribe Senator Johnson to not campaign against him. So maybe he can prove his friend 2029, but I don't really think he has that kind of impact.
Let's take some calls, okay?
Okay, let's mute.
Yeah. Take some calls, please.
Okay, guys, let's mute our.
Yeah. Henry's order your calls.
So you've been following very closely. If you want to make your import.
Let Henry frozen. Hey, you got to take what you get frozen. Yeah, but let me post another number that I can start calling.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. See the network in Liberia is as bad as it can get. When they call you, it's terrible on the local line.
You can start calling the number. You can call from Liberia. You get data. You can call the number on WhatsApp. Call on WhatsApp. You get it.
That's right. But Tomalin.
I got a first caller. First call. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Tomalin, how you doing? You put me on hold, Jay.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I know that.
Yeah, listen, man. Let me say good evening to you guys, man. My dear brother Jerome, Mr. Nyenwolo, and of course my dear sister Sarah. Look, fascinating topic. You know, of all of the deliberation tonight, Tomalin, something that what's the guy instituted with you?
Cyrus
stated that really caught my attention that has to do with the 2023 election. And I think he was on point. Because similarly, I was involved in the election in 2023, meaning I took part, I voted and everything, including the run-up and everything. Normally, Tomalin, even in the great United States, to have a by-election and then get a by-election in a county, and then it tend to be more than, not by the runner election, it tend to be more than the actual day election. It says a lot. Look, Tomalin, I voted in Liberia, and that's one of the places that my focus was on. And you had a poor turnout owing to all of the Pretoria that came up from Nima County in 2003. All of the lines that were empty. And not like there was a queue of line for people to be queue up to say, oh yeah, you see a massive turn off for the roundup. That was not the case. But then you had a huge voter turnout more than the first round. So what Sarah stated, it just kind of reenacted that concern for me. That's why I wanted to reiterate here, because you can have 100 and some more thousand votes in a runner election that was more than the actual day of election. So all of those are taken by that election, like he stated, like the person of either Gongloe and all of the people. That's something that they really need to open their eyes to, because that word that Vice President Kuhn used, let's come to the coup or whatever it is concerning. It's a coded word that he stated. So people, the contestant in a particular senatorial election, I think they need to open their eyes to that. It's very, very important. That's why I just wanted to reiterate that. But Cyrus, he is kind of informed on situation. And I think it's fascinating discussion tonight. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Guys in Monrovia, they either LEC gone or something, but it's indeed. I will tell you though, in my election, you shouldn't overlook it. People should not overlook the election. People will not take it for joke. People are going to really be involved. They're going to take it serious. So anybody thinking that they're going to just cheat their way to power, okay, another call coming in. Go ahead, caller, you live.
Yeah, my name is Ambassador Roosevelt. I'm calling from the city of Wisconsin. How are you?
You live. Thank you. How are you, Ambassador Dan? How are you today?
Good. Yeah, I just want to make my little point on your discussion tonight, because I'm from Nima County. And this going election, I contested in district number 8 as representative for candidate for the CDC party. So everything my brother said there, he actually know the politics in Nima County, and I just want to throw a little light about how the cheating in Nima County took place and how it's going to happen again. Now, before then, Kun was not vice president to have more control over a lot of the people. Now he's vice president. They have changed most of the people who were the district or NEC supervisor, most of those key area, to bring in their own people. And the cheating is not about the people who are going to do the voting. You will get the people who, maybe with truck people, you get them. You will see the number they're voting. But at that point, after everything, your number going to come out, the number will not reach to the people that you carry them to that point. How it happened? That's the question. What they do is that the people who are heading those places on the NDC supervisor and they got different names for them. They will divide the ballot paper. They take some, they give it to people. If they really want you or you give them something, they will give you the ballot. You send your people, they go sit down somewhere, take their own time, they fill in with everybody that they want them on that ballot, and then they will bring it back. Time for them to count everything, that ballot, you will see it among the one that people are already voted. It's not that the people coming in there to vote. They will take the ballot before and then they take their own time to fill it in. That's how they do it. And they are good at doing it. Kun is good at doing it. All the elections that he has won in Nimba County, that's how he been operating. And he got the people, he will use them to carry on the operation. So this election, when it just go normal election, they're going to win all of them. But they are trying to see how they will be able to cheat. This usual way they have been doing. That's what the idea that they are using right now. But I think with this other election, I think it will be difficult because it's not like a general election where people's attentions are different places. Focus will be on Nimba County just for that particular election.
Okay.
So thank you so much. I just wanted to give my...
he answered the question. I mean, honestly, this election will be different because it's only one election. It's not a whole country. So everybody focus in Nimba, and every party that taking part in the election, they're not going to leave the votes vulnerable. No, they're gonna be there with the poll watchers. They'll be there. Those who are monitoring the poll, they will be there watching everything. So I don't think anybody trying to do it. It will be very hard for that person. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good evening, guys. My name is Melinson from New Jersey. I'm from district number 8, Nimba County. Just as Roosevelt said, they will try to cheat because Jeremiah has been winning on cheating. But this election, it has been closely monitored by Edith and her supporters, even along with Garrison and his supporters. Same Koga have always been bringing people from Ivory Coast to vote for him. Garrison said the border will be closed, it will never be open for anybody to come from Ivory Coast to vote. But Jeremiah put the thing that it will take ballot to go market like what Roosevelt was saying, it will never happen. Edith and her team, they have the total registered number of voters per each district in Nimba County that the record that the National Election Commission recorded for 2023 election, they have the copy. And there is no new numeration going on for this voter registry, for this important election. The number of registered voters that was registered for previous election 2023, that the number of registered voters in Nimba they will be dealing with. And not everybody going to show up to vote. Some people have misplaced their ID card. They are saying that if you go to other standing college, if you're from Upper Nimba, go to standing college, you pay $5 before you get a new car. If you're from Lower Nimba, you go to Tapeta, and people will be transporting themselves, looking for full money to transport themselves to go. Some people will not be interested in that. So you will not have people voting in Nimba County more than the total number of registered voters that we have on record for 2023. It will never going to happen. We are going to closely monitor and we'll be checking everything. We are putting things into place. It will never happen.
Thank you.
We are going to do that.
But Madison, what the guy was saying, they know where the voters are, right? You are most likely not to vote. They bring the voter registration to your house.
No, but Mr. Given, not registering nobody new. Everybody,
No. Why you saying the voting card, right?
Yeah, they go and see numbers. And mind you now, there's no way you can truck. No truck. You truck. Where you trucking voters from?
Yeah, but he said they bring your car, the voter card, right? They bring your voter card to you, and you fill out, and then they keep it, and then they take it and put it in a ballot bag. That's what he's saying. So you don't have to come. They bring it to you. And absentee ballot. That's what they're doing.
Go ahead, Paula. Sorry, just
good morning. Good morning.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. You live. You live.
Jabata. Yeah, I said this is Morris and Jabata, CMC Progressive Youth Chairman. I'm currently calling for Marola because I came to do some other work here. You know, the issue in Nimba County, this is why CMC was strategic by bringing Mark Leon on a ticket. You know, the fraud that have been in Nimba. Let me tell you, the life of Garrison Yulu, Mark Leon, and Oga, you should understand now it is very, very difficult for VP Kum to manipulate that election. Secondly, it is a challenge. Thank God this is a by-election. It is not national election where everybody, this time around, we will be focused. And all polling places will be highly monitored. Every month, the polling staffs, we have other international community, other people from all over want to come and observe. The last of, hello?
Yeah, you live.
Yeah, the level of Samuel Koga just have the government support. He's not going nowhere. Samuel Koga will be like what happened to CDC doing the by-election in Mosurado. This is the same thing. Mark my word, Sintomani. Samuel Koga will lose big time. That election in Nimba, it is between two persons. The election current, it is between Madam Ide Gongloe and how do you call it? Mark Leon. Trust me, you will see the result. And we'll make sure we are there, we are on the ground, people are moving. If you see Koga is talking about the head all around today, it is because why Honorable Musa Brete should allow Mark Leon, who the youth, strongest support in the country today. Why Musa Brete should allow that man to go on his ticket. Are you aware the VP currently, upon return, you start talking to Mark BC for Mark to not contest, but it's too late. Mark is already run strong by NEC. So this is to tell you the Nimba County politics, this is the very dimension we are carrying. We're trying to change the entire political system in Nimba. Yeah. People should come with, their personal view, that will be and also carry on cheating. You look at the second round of 2023 election. If you really look at it, just like President Wiatu, he was tired with it, maybe you were tired with the presidency, or I don't know what tension. But the number during the first round, the number second round exceeded the first round vote. If there was any other person that will ask for recount. But he let it go. That brought his defeat today. But this time around, trust me, you will say, Morris A.M. Jabata said it. The election, he will carry all the tithes, all the money, the only thing. First of all, this man, he has disrespected our traditional people, our elder within the country. That stigma is already on him. The women of Nimba County, 60% today, they are supporting Madam Gongloe. You understand? And now the youth of the country, we are resolved. 80% of the youth in the country, we are resolved. We are carrying Honorable Mark Leon. So the election this time around, it will be very, very tough. We will monitor it, we will follow it, and we will make sure. As for me, I'm a CNC supporter. But anybody can win that election, but not Samuel Koga. Because Samuel Koga, the destruction he been carrying to the House of Representatives will not allow him to carry in the Senate. Okay. These are some of our arguments. Because this man, if you can remember Ellis Tyler removal, he was in the vanguard. And it come to Funati Kofa removal. Today, the country have been on a stage for how many months?
Okay.
More than 6 months, the country is not moving. Nowhere today, we are celebrating just the Supreme Court intervention today because of Samuel Koga. Church of men, I think the mistake that we made is to give him 13 years. Okay. But this time around, let you just stay to the district after the 6 years, we flush it off.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One
more call. Okay, go ahead, caller.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Prince Davis, man. I just want to add up to what Brother Cyrus is saying. The best way I know NEMA election can be monitored is from when you be able to really have a good workshop with your. Make sure your pool washer mark everyone that go into that center to vote. If your pool washer marks 200% time to count the ballot, let that be the 200 ballot paper. If not, if your pool washer only goes there and sit and just be watching, looking at people at the end of the day, 200 people will come and you will see 500 ballot paper in the box. So at the end of the time, you don't know how the 500 get there because you're a pool washer that was just walking in and out. But if you train your pool washer when one person entered there to vote, everyone mark it. One person have entered. If there are 10, you mark it 10. There's no way to cheat in that. Because Honorable Kuhn, that's a thing he can do. He fight hard for net to get extra ballot paper. He use that ballot paper with his guys. They will check him and they will fold out paper. Like 10 of those paper will be wrapped very small with a rubber band. When they go down there to the ballot box, they get in that one paper, they go in the polling room, they check it, they fold that 10 without one, and just come and throw it in the box. At that time, nobody attention on them. They just come and throw it in the box. So time to count, one person vote 10 to 10. It's 11. So if you get almost 20 people that do, carry on that, they got more vote. So the candidate got to be very smart at that point to mark how many people enter in every polling room to vote. There will be no way to cheat.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think we're done with the calls now. Let us do our own quickly and the last 15 minutes. Let us get our own analysis about what we've heard and in my election about. So, Sarah, let's start with you. What do you think after all the calls and think what's going to happen in Nima? What do you think going to happen?
Yeah, I think most of the points that people raise here from the callers are very genuine, and I think they have to, the members of the opposition that are going against the ruling establishment candidate, which is Koga, they have to be very strategic and they have to be attentive on the day of election. The strategy here is know all the polling places in Nima, get your people together, train them, let them be very attentive, okay? Very, very attentive, because remember, they're going against a ruling establishment who has all the powers. They're going to use the military, they're going to use the police, only God knows what they're going to use. But at the end of the day, you have your people over there prepare to do the job. Pay attention to the votes, pay attention to who's coming in, who's going out. Get your tally sheet together. Make sure you know what you have on your tally sheet so that when the numbers come out, it will correspond to what you have on your tally sheet. Also, the opposition can pay attention to the borders. They're going to probably try to truck people over there. They got the military, they got the police. Pay attention to the border lines. Make sure that strange people are not coming in to vote. Pay attention to that. That's just my little piece of advice. But it's going to be a challenge, as we all know, with the kind of way this government carry out. But I wish them all the best. Koga must go. He must be defeated. Thank you.
Senior Comrade J. Victor Nangbe.
So let me thank Cyrus. I think he brought a lot of clarity to the Nima politics there. I thought I understood it, but he has really tonight. He has expanded my horizon. My wife is from Nima, like I said, so I think I have a little bit of. But I think this is also a test, a litmus test. I think, Tomalin, you said that for the vice president. He has come out. I know he is looking down the road to 2029. I think there are questions about his power base. where his constituency is. He left the MDR just a few days before I think the passing of the late senator, and so I think that would have been his base. So now he's a UP partisan, but he's a UP partisan by marriage. I think the U people require that you become a partisan before you can run the ticket. So now he has come out trying to reclaim Nimba, and so I really think it will be interesting to watch. I mean, Cyrus has really laid it out very, very clearly. But the fragmentation that Sarah is pointing out, it could also weigh against Representative Koga. So many Geo people are in the race, and Garrison Yellow is not a pushover, but Edith also on the Mano side is not a pushover. So it's going to be very, very interesting. We'll be watching. And the best person win. The Musa factor. Sarah said, it's immaterial, but the last caller, Jabate, even though he says he's from the CMC, but I think he's making a point there that it shouldn't be written off. Musa, the little I know of him, he's very cerebral. I keep saying that, he's very calculated. So he could also, take a bite out of Representative Koga's vote, because I think Mike is also from, the Gil tribe. So, but we'll see. And from what I hear, my wife and others are talking at home. Looks like they think Koga might take it. We'll see.
Wow. Who next?
Cyrus, go ahead. Yeah, I know you in Rwanda.
Yes, Cyrus. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, the guys from the CDC, they had as if they know all, but they know their own people. They say some of us would have lost our lives for them. And personally, for me, the target of my mother's hometown, when we heard of the same election or the fraudulent activity when Paul sent ballot papers, because he can actually get those ballot papers from the magistrate, and one of the colors he can fill those people up either on the eve of the election or on the very day of the election, and they distribute it around for people to carry and put them and drop them in a ballot process. So that's how they do it. And when we heard of it, my team and I moved in a very time in my mother's hometown, town called Soul Stanley. Then afternoon, the guys attacked us. God will have it. My mom is from there, and when it came, they resisted us. People taking people taking single barriers and things. I will have that for business, and we does not know me. These do not. They don't know me from anywhere. Some of us, because we know Kun is terrible, and we never wanted him to be vice president. But today, some of the actions that I sit and think about it, I think about it now. I just know the party of a very strong party I can join now. I don't want to stay with CDC. People are heartless. The guys are heartless. And imagine what we did for them. When it came to a time just to get a ticket for me to return to Rwanda to complete studies, Eugene Nangbe then all of us lost election. Where you expect me to get money from? No, it's so discouraging. And for me, as I'm here thinking, the only reason I was supposed Mr. Weir in 2029, if I have found a serious political party to join, I love President Weir, but he doesn't know me. And I don't want to be president. Imagine the I know as a president now, moving like a president. What happens if he's Liberia would turn chaotic. This is why I don't for the guy, everything about the guy is fake. Everything about him centers around illegality and immorality. Hate him. But then who do we fight for? That's a major thing. I can tell you there are a lot of young people in Liberia who love President Bush, who supported him. They 3,000 plus president we have got from Nima is a fair vote, and we made him to get those votes. But at the end of the day, people took the glory they are enjoying today, while the very young people who supported the process are not regretting. And as you speak, it's making most of the young people to gravitate towards whom. So what he normally does, when he notices that you're suffering, he plays this call, he calls you directly, say, my man, come to town. You go there, they look for $500 to $600, give it to you. By the time you return to Nimba now, your head pause. You 5% now call you. So you all over the getting home. President, we need to do something about this. A lot of young people supported, including me. We are regretting, but for me, no amount of regret can make me to join Kun. But with this election, this by-election is something serious. You know, I'm not going to talk about their teaching that much because if they do, it will benefit, and it does me no harm individually because I know Koga has been so good to me. You know, but the election is something serious, and people need to just do the right thing. It's easy to have their will in Nimba. They know what to do as a political party. So I think I can stop here for now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cyrus.
First, a week ago, we talked about our owner school program. And one of the first courses that I tell my staff to teach is character counts. I know some people have not heard about it. I think now that from what I heard from Pewee and everybody else, it is something that we need to introduce into Liberia at a very early age. Character counts. This is what I'm saying. If you are in a position to hire or recommend somebody, character means a whole lot. If you have somebody where the international community invested into an investigation like the TRC, and women are reporting men raping them, killing them, and doing a lot of stuff, if your name is even mentioned in that group, I wouldn't recommend you for a job. I wouldn't hire you. That's what we call character. We are not assassinating your character, but we say character counts. When it comes to the Supreme Court, today I felt very bad for Councilor Vani Sherman. It has to be for the money. To stand there and be berated by your colleagues, many of whom are your former students, to talk down on you because you are misappropriating, misapplying, and not understanding the law. It was terrible. And from what I saw, there is no indication whatsoever that the Supreme Court is going to deviate from their prior ruling to the confirmation today and rule in favor of the purported speaker. It's impossible. As far as the Nima election is concerned, I understand the divisions and everything else, but we are asking the young people. Mark Blair is a young man that I think I read about him. But whatever the choice is, I call it ABK. Anybody but Koga. That's my initial, ABK. Anybody but Koga. ABK in Nimba. Anybody but Koga. He's a despicable human being. I have 3 girls, 2 of whom are twins, and I want them to aspire to be the best they can be anywhere in the world. For a man to stand and say women, to be that derogatory towards women, I would never respect him for who he is, for saying that kind of stuff. Wow. To my girls.
Attention to that. You know, that's just my little piece of advice.
I would never, I don't care, you call him honorable, to look at 55, 56% of the population and disregard them and say, when men come outside, the women shouldn't be there and they should, all that other stuff, taking our country, our people back hundreds of years. The women are educated, they are experienced, they are professional, and they have all right to contest. To put them in the dustbin and say they shouldn't be there because men are around. It's despicable. All men should stand up and say, this is not us. This doesn't represent Nima County. Nima men don't think this way. And I think he should be put on full blast. Thank you, Mr. George, for having me on.
I know my camera just went off. I know what happened, but I'm trying to come back. It's not helping me to come, but it's then going to show everything.
Yeah, you were messing with Coon. That's what happened.
You were messing with Coon?
Yeah, you were messing with Coon. I call you a power. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Coming guys, harmonize. Is he talking to me?
Yeah. You already did a closing?
Yeah, everybody did a closing already. We all did.
I did. Thank you. I did.
Oh, okay. Let me say this. We were talking yesterday. We ended the show with soccer business, and I tell you, I got a lot of inquiries today, and we'll have our soccer show. People were interested in it. People reached out to me and interested in the show. Somebody said they even want to sponsor the show. I said that's good.
Oh man, that would be nice.
We're looking for more sponsors. We'll get the guys. I know Sakba Myers is in Rhode Island. Finisher Charlie is in Rhode Island. Most of the other players they are in Pennsylvania. Solomon Joe is here. Foke is in New Jersey, I think, right, Mr. Gimmer?
Yes.
Foke is in New Jersey, and all these former players that play for doing the Turbo as president. The winner. What people don't know too, Liberia won a tournament before. They call it the Winner Arrow Turbo Junior Soccer Tournament, the Six Nation Tournament.
Yes.
Liberia won at the Summer Kind of at the Anthony Thomas Stadium. Yes, Turbo. What they call the Winner Arrow Turbo Tournament. So people don't know we beat other African countries were there. I think Ghana was there, Sierra Leone, Guinea. They all came for that tournament. Liberia won the Six Nation Tournament. We took it. So they shouldn't forget Liberia won the national tournament before. So people shouldn't Lone Star been there before. You know, we always went to the World Cup. Had the referee not cheat our own fee, but now Joel I take it to the World Cup. But we pray one of these days that maybe not in our generation, but maybe by the time we Lone Star will go to the World Cup one of these days. We'll look forward to that day. But Cyrus, thank you, man. I got a lot of people asking me about you. Who the young man? Where young man?
Yeah, Cyrus, thank you for the enlightenment.
Really about this work. And look forward to
thank you so much for
connection. But if I fix that thing happening, your snap I know what it was.
Yeah, the audio is
the
bad.
audio is bad. You might fix it. I beg you so people can hear you more. People very interested in you, you know. Senior comrade J. Victor Nangwe, I want to say my salute to you again. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
I think you bring a lot to the discourse, and we really appreciate you. And of course, Sarah, whenever I know you're a very busy person. Whenever you get a chance, you always take your time. They only day off you get in a week. She take her time for the day off to come and contribute to the discourse. You know,
she kind to argue with Abu.
No, Abu not here. Abu can't on the platform that that's okay.
No, I'm talking to Joe. You're not watching the comment section. You're not watching the comment section.
We're going back and forth. But Tommy, thank you guys very much.
Yes, okay. Yes. See you tomorrow.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you for having me late here.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Okay.
Welcome.